be like, oh yeah, I invested in this person, and that's good.
And even there is a camp, a camp of that meet with him there in South Africa. They're inviting him here in June. They will just do a meetup for those group of people, and they want him. They say we want you to
Oh, okay, it's good to be back on the closing argument. Today's Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. The closing argument is live on Hot FM and True FM in Liberia. And we are also being simulcast on other local radio stations across the country. I want to welcome Yomantro Kranga, James A. Koyate Jr., Nora Hooks, all the way in Iowa. She's involved in saving lives. An experienced veteran nurse, and she one of those who, whenever she's in Liberia, she took her time to serve humanity free of charge. She helped people in her community with medical issues. So I want to say thanks to her. These are the unsung and silent heroes. They don't come on Facebook and talk about what they do, but they do it in their own weak ways. Those who here on Facebook who will be talking about what they do in Liberia, what they got, you don't take the people serious. We are live on 107.9 Hot FM and True FM, 96.1 True FM and 107.9 Hot FM. If you're in Liberia, you can tune the radio, you hear us live. Want to always thank the management of True FM and headed by the Honorable Liability, and Hot FM headed by Representative Bernard Benson, commonly called DJ Blue. They are doing a very great service to the Liberian people by allowing us to be on the radio live and on prime time too. Also, O'Neill, the manager there at True FM too. They are always there. All the guys, Arthur, Henry, Ansu, and Zeze, Bala Zeze at Hot FM. I want to say thanks to you guys for doing the best for your people. Always serving humanity. These guys are doing it. If you won't believe it, they are doing it voluntarily, but because they love the career, they love what they do. They're very passionate about it. But they are there day and night. They are there. That's why sometimes we try to bless them, and they appreciate everything you help these guys with. They appreciate it. Let me let you guys know they appreciate everything you do for them, and they do their best to keep us going. And that's why anytime you want to bless them, feel free to bless them. They are doing a heck of a job, beautiful job. They are also 96.1 in Monrovia, 96.9 in Nimba on True FM. And even though I won't announce the day I'm arriving in Liberia, but I'm on my way to Liberia next month. But I would love for you guys to be a blessing to these guys in Liberia, so that when I get there, you can be blessed. So anybody who want to bless the guys, O'Neill at True FM, Arthur, Henry at True FM, Ansu at True FM, and Balazize at Hot FM, be a blessing to them. They will appreciate it. They have family, they have kids, but day and night they are in the studio. Right now it's after 9 o'clock in Liberia at night, and they are in the studios. Sometimes the place can be dark. I was there, I saw what they go through, They go home on motorbike. Sometimes they sleep at the studio just to get us going. And I really appreciate them. That's why most of the guys you see on the platform, they try to bless them in a weak way. I heard when Robert Gagwa was there, he did his best. He blessed them too, you know. Anytime Peabody was there, he did the same thing. I'm on my way there too. I know I will have to bless them too. You can be a blessing to them. So be free. No amount is small. What if the song says little or much? And God is in it, right? So, and then help you want to give these guys at the studio, please be free to do it. $5, $10, whatever you want to give them. You know, please be a blessing to them. They keep us going every day. Sometimes it's raining. Right now it's rainy season in Liberia. Sometimes in a heavy rain, you guys got to be there, you know. And at the end of the month, I mean, whatever compensation the management got, whatever they share with all of them too, but sometimes it's not there, it's not there. But they have to make a living. They have to look good. So please bless them. Well, it's good to be back on the closing argument. I want to welcome Nyenwolo Kranga, James A. Kuyate Jr., Nora Hawks in Iowa there, Lofa Julius. Lofa, welcome you anyway. Alice York, Joseph Emmanuel Stubberfield Jr., Alio Kamara, my big brother Edwin Craw. There's my big brother from Firestone, from Connecticut. Now he's in Delaware. One of another patriotic librarian is Brother Craw too. He's very patriotic. He's very, in fact, he's one of our silent supporters of the closing argument. He contributed to this show a lot, but in his silent and weak way, he's not the person who like to show it up. But we want to say welcome. Nyenwolo Kranga is saying thanks for all you guys are doing and continue to do for our great country Liberia. Christian Roberts, I want to say thank you, welcome. And you know, one thing people don't understand though, you know, every day you go on Facebook, you get insulted. You come on the show, you say something, they insult you. People will come in your box and insult you, but you can't give up. You do it for the sake of Liberia, you know. Especially now, our friends in the Unity Party, as soon as you just post something, they're ready to come and attack you. And some of them are very honest, some of them are objective. They will tell you what's going on, what's wrong is happening, you know. Some of them will defend it blindly. And they say, man, so but again, that's Liberia. Issue about yellow machine, yes, it's under serious scrutiny. I'm informed that our friends at the United States Embassy are involved. They are really trying to dig deeper on this to find the source of this machine. And everything they know about the source, they have already started the investigation too. And so that's why the president was very quickly decided to draw a distance from it. President said, "No, I don't know about this thing. You got to investigate it and do the proper thing. We want it so." But many people say the president is in the know. Well, we'll keep on digging deeper, find out whether he's really in the know or not. You know, but let's keep it up. I want to welcome Wisse Jibe Wisse from Minnesota. Welcome to all of you guys, and want to say we are live on the radio in Liberia all over, and we are bringing this program live. Let's keep it going. It's raining in my area now. What? We have rain coming. America rain different from Liberia rain. You know, the same rain, but all the rain in America, when it comes, they can take the whole house away, pull it in the ocean. Doris Thompson, watching from Silver Spring, Maryland. Our rain in America, I don't joke. When it comes to rain, it comes with force. I see the Honorable Sylvester K. Peewee from the Neo-Progressive, the former Assistant Minister at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Liberia, under the WIA administration. I see him trying to log. I hope he's not in his car driving, because we are being warned that people that are driving on the show, we're gonna get in trouble for that. So either they park or they reach their destination, because if anything happens, that we will be held liable to, because we allow it to happen though. We want to welcome Josiah Masale, watching from Pinsway District number 5. Stephen Collins, Andrea Clark. Welcome all of you, our folks, man. Look, there'll come a time we'd like for some of you guys to come on the platform. Let we know who our viewers are, our supporters are. Sometimes we'll have a day where we'll always get one by one. Come and just say hi and see what's going on. Let's see you guys, because sometimes we go out there and people will come to us and say, I know you from somewhere. And then next thing, and sometimes they call your full name, but you know the person think that you've been trying to be proud. But no, that's not it though. Sometimes, yeah, I know CC Colley. Kev is around. Kev but taking some time off, perhaps, I don't know. He will let us know when he's ready to return. He will come and address the issue about what Stanton and Dr. Richardson said on Spoon, whether it is true that he apologized to them. He will come on the platform and tell the Liberian people. He has not spoken yet. He's yet to break his silence on it, to tell the people what all was said was true. So we wait for him to come. Maybe he's taking his time and making before he comes. But he definitely will have to tell the Liberian people, tell the people, because on the same platform that he said things that they felt offended them. So he will come on the same platform if he will come here and to address what was said, whether he did, whether he apologized to them or not, we don't know. So he will come in at the appropriate time, but he's still with the closing argument. He has just taken some time off, perhaps at the appropriate time he will come. Eleanor Davis, Felicia Freewallow. Felicia, you know very well it's not a good thing to be driving and talking on air, because you'll be looking in the camera and anything can happen. Don't try to put your people in trouble, man. Yeah, but guys, personally, we have the issue of these machines, the yellow machine or the green machine, how they call it, that's trending. The president yesterday he set up, today he set up the rice committee for the issue of rice, Liberia's staple food. Moses, it'll be a good thing, Moses. You can come and join us today, man. Come and let us chat, man. Come on, you are well-known panelist on SKTV. You always have a seat here. You're free anytime to join us, anytime to contribute to this national discourse. Yeah, so the trending issues now is the issue of the machines and also the rice issue. And then some of the comments the president made recently, people are questioning some of the characters that was appointed. They have some checkered past, and whether they have been cleared, all of these things we don't know. But and then yesterday issue about the news where the Senate committee on Public Works. Can you imagine? They said they were pleading for the Minister of Public Works, saying that he made an inadvertent misstep, and that it was with good intention, and that is still trending. And again, you see, when you find out why some of our senators, our lawmakers, our cabinet ministers have been sanctioned in the past, these are some of the things that can happen. People are watching, because people believe that money intended for the Liberian people, when they feel that those who are entrusted to serve the people, when they found out that they are getting themselves involved in questionable issue or transactions and so forth. And what I noticed is that since our Liberians, since our government, our courts, they refuse to our Justice Department refuse to go after these people, those who violate, who betray the public trust, those who undermine the public trust. We all wait for the Liberian, our foreign partners to do it, and that's the problem. We all wait for them to do it, and that's the problem. It's wrong, If once America don't come up and and America doing sanction somebody, nothing happens. One of America, can you imagine? Only time people can resign or take action on public officials until the U.S. government acts. I don't think that should be the case. I don't think so. I think we should not be allowed when we want to do that. People should be able to act before such things happen. But again, it's like real for us. Dr. Peabody, welcome, brother. How's everything going, man?
Man, it's great to be back on the Close Acumen, my friend. It's good to be back. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Sylvester, welcome. Good to see you, Sylvester. And it's good to be back. There's a lot happening in Liberia, man.
Corruption, a lot's happening, brother. A lot's happening.
Corruption has begun. Corruption 101, back to base. I was reading something from the Daily Observer this morning, and it was really horrible to read that story. Ultimately, I read about the Deputy Minister of Finance, McGill. What's his name? Bill McGill Jones or something. I'm gonna call his name shortly, but it was bad. This guy made a budget with a computer firm and told him to add $20,000 as his kickback, and then the guy refused, and then they fired him. It was in the Daily Observer. I'm gonna put that story on and read it in a second. But I mean, corruption has just started. Corruption 101. Right now is the freshman year for corruption. So all the freshman students are getting their lesson together and to begin corruption 101. But it's sad from what I've seen, what I've read, and what I'm hearing. In fact, Chairman Ability is to say he will join us today on mobility because he said there's a lot going on in Liberia. He said it's getting bad. The corruption is getting bad. So.
Wow, man. It's too much, though. Oh, Peabody, man. But what kind of death business do? I just got a death news about my uncle. How you call your father's cousin? Your father's cousin? You know your uncle?
Your cousin, yeah.
Your cousin, right?
Some cousin, first cousin.
Yeah, I just and there's the real they're not fake, real blood cousin. My uncle. I'm sure you know him too, the former education minister, Dr. Othello Gonga.
Oh, he just passed?
I just getting the news as I'm sitting here.
Oh, wow, former statesman.
Yeah, very when he said brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Othello Gonga, we call him too. Other public call him too.
Yeah, that Othello Gonga, former education minister.
Former education minister in the dual administration. I think he also served Madam Salif too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's a big news there, man. He died in Maryland or Liberia?
Oh, I'm trying to find out where. They just text me the news just now. Oh my God.
I think he was living in the U.S.
Yeah, he used to live in Maryland. That's why.
Yeah, live in the U.S. I want to guess. I think he should be close. I think he died in his 80s, right?
Yeah. Felicia Free Wallow say your father's cousin is your second cousin. Okay, my second cousin.
Second cousin, yeah.
It's not second uncle. Your father's cousin cannot be a second cousin.
What?
No, your father cousin is an extended line of it's an extended line of your second uncle. Should not be a second cousin. You guys are you are generational lower than him, so they at that level of your paternity link. So that lineage of your paternity, it should be from that line. But anyway, we not. It's
well, I want to say condolences to the entire family, to the Gonga's family on the passing of Dr. Othello Gonga, and he died in Maryland. Yeah, Maryland, USA. Yeah.
I mean, but Tomalin, he lived his life on a serious note. He fulfilled the great book, the Bible. And he left a legacy that's going to endure, right? Part of his legacy, his educational program, I think it was through his administration that the MCSS was created then, the Monrovia Consolidated School System. They brought this thought process about to ensure that we have public schools in the Montserrat area that will go in the eclipse of the metropolitan terrain of the capital city. So that was a very huge impact. And today, the Monrovia Consolidated School System is impacting a lot. We have Stockman High. We used to have Central High. We have the Pinsville. I mean, all those major schools within the Monrovia area impacted a lot. So I think he left, as Minister of Education, he left a very huge legacy that we all can celebrate. and I think that would be one of the thing that we can celebrate him for. The fact that he lived for more than almost 80 plus years. I don't know the exact one, but he been
Yeah,
around. We were kids.
it is.
Very well, so he lived a successful life. He was one of those ministers that were very firm and willing to serve his country. He was Minister of Education and at the same time teaching in the classroom. So he left a very good, like I said, I took some time to ask some deep question. My uncle taught before, so my uncle said to me, I asked him before, I said all the time he taught them before the war. He said, if we had people like Mr. Otello Gonga step back here, his policy he brought when he was Minister of Education, we would have gone far. I mean, these are the kind of things he said about him. So I mean, that's a very great legacy. We celebrating as a human being leaving us, but we will also celebrate his legacy that he left. So to his family, including you, we want to extend our deepest sympathy to the family and celebrate his life. A wonderful life.
Thank you, Comrade Pete. Thank you, Comrade Pete, for that beautiful tribute. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Peabody, we on Facebook because Binta Bedete is saying she watched here and listened to the radio.
We are on Facebook.
I think, okay. Binta, if you're listening, we on Facebook, the closing argument page.
We are.
Well, let me, there's something that, as we talk about today, what's happening in the country today, there was something written by, yes, okay, Bala say he was the last employment was the Good Governance Commission. But Amos Soil, all the boards there.
Mm-hmm.
Something was said years ago by the late Catholic Archbishop. He said, Liberia, the land of the free, is a land of pain, a land of wars, and a land of injustice. We must create the environment in which the respect for the fundamental rights of our people is respected. All Liberians are treated equally, and the means whereby we can live decent life must be available. Unless, and only unless, we as a people and nation come to grips with the unjust system we have in Liberia, ours will be a land of chaos, fratricidal contentions, and desert of wars. The late Catholic Archbishop Emeritus Michael Bakana Francis. I mean, what Bishop said is exactly what's happening today in our country, though. For the last 18 years, God has given Liberian opportunity to go and elect leaders, and from government to government, the problems continue to persist. And we have had two parties that have controlled the country for the last 18 years. I think there's the party, the second one again coming for the second time. And I mean, from us, I hope, but I think our hope is dwindling, because I thought that when President Boga was saying on the campaign trail that when he made a comment and said, if my relative or anybody connected to me, if you want a job, there's not a place. You won't get a job in my government, though. But I see today everything has changed, and business as usual. Even the minister of still a portfolio, she's president in Kenya with the finance minister at the African Development Bank Summit, where President Boga should have been in attendance too, where 13 African heads of state are present, but the president is completely absent again. And it's getting concerning, though. Since the president took office, he's yet to attend any African meeting, major meetings, the ECOWAS and African Union, all these important regional summits, he yet to attend it. But then again, I see his supporters and the Unity Party partisans are coming on to defend it. I mean, for me, I think it's wrong. I think the president should attend these meetings. It's very important for Liberia. Manasali attended these meetings. President we attended these meetings. And most of the time, in Liberia, we have representatives at the African Development Bank. And most of the money for some of the roles comes from the African Development Bank. The money comes from there too. So it's always good for the president, even for the first time, a person can be felt, I hope, I don't know what's happening, but we'll continue to call out the president for not being present at these meetings. I want to welcome again. We see Peewee, we see Calabo Gonglo, a former assistant minister of labor too in the Ellen Johnson administration. He's now one of those charged with imparting the minds of young people in this country. So he's not a professor, but he's an instructor. The man teaching math in America. He's not joking. Calling the math juniors.
I'm happy that the new progressive pundits is on the show today. Sylvester Pugh. Was he on the show last night?
No.
Oh, okay. I wish he had come to defend the corruption at Pablo Weiss. The minister of Pablo Weiss now admit and apologize to the Senate for corruption. I wish people are listening to him.
And what happened? The Senate.
Herendor is saying that MCA was started by President Talbot, and so he's making some correction. And I think I want to agree with Herendor though.
No, President Talbot did not start MCSA.
But under administration, right?
It was under Tonma administration.
Well, we got 3 now. People get different line, and Herendor saying different thing, and Kelabo. So I'm gonna do that one.
No. I didn't say no. Too many. Let me correct that. I didn't say it started. I said boom during his administration. He decentralized and make it very effective.
Okay.
When he was Minister of Education. So I mean, people just want to catch on things or give things. So I like they're giving information of correction here. No, there's not a room that I'm going to give anybody the oxygen to get that opportunity. What I said was it was under his administration he made the MCSM more viable and vibrant. The vibrancy of the institution, the issue about teachers having the opportunity to get the lesson plan that was not only because most of those lesson plans that were coming at the time, even MCSS process, it was his administration that extended the MCSS outside of Monrovia because it was only the Monrovia consolidated school system. To have the Painesville Central Academy and the other schools outside of Monrovia, it was he that decentralized that. He said, no, it's not going to be about Central Monrovia, the Tottenham High, the Central High, the Gibson, on the bypass. No. He extended and expanded it. That's what I was trying to say.
Hey guys, let's get started with this. First of all, I want your take on the president establishing the rest committee on rice. Peabody, I saw you saw the list, right? The appointment of those who are on the list for the rice. What do you think you expect from that committee? You think they will make rice affordable in Liberia? But right now, people getting killed in Liberia for rice now. People beating people for any rice that fall down, green or rice that waste from the pan. People are getting hurt for it. What are your thoughts about this rice? Rice has been our major. I mean, you and I know, we owe enough. All of us here to know having 1979. I mean, well, you were young, but we know having 1979 in this country, where at the time people got their own version of that story. But at the time, and I think some people you will support Talbot, and President Talbot said, well, after 1980, there will be no more parboiled rice, imported parboiled rice in the country. We'll be depending on our locally produced rice. But then some people said that Talbot said it because most of his relatives, his brother, and other people were the major farmers in the country, and they were going to benefit from it. They were going to be the one growing the rice and selling rice and making money. But that was some people's argument. But then our senior comrade, veteran comrade, peace to his ashes, Comrade Gabriel Barkers Matthews said, look, he provided some ideas to our agriculture minister, the late Dr. Chenoweth, how rice can be more affordable in the country. The Progressive Alliance at the time, the PPP, they said, well, ideas to make rice more affordable and in the country. But then for some reason it was between the former late Justice Minister Joseph Chesing and President Talbot and Barkers and the power group, and then things went out of hand, and then the rice riot took place in 1979, April 14, and then since that time people have shift blames. We yet to find out. But I think there was a committee set up to investigate the rice riot. I think it came up with a ruling. I'm sure Kadabo got that, but he's one of the research guys we know. I'm sure you get a copy of that panel report. But Peabody, just tell us, man, what's your take on this rice issue with the recent appointment of all these people to bring the rice price down?
I mean, I think the whole thing continues to be a disconnect here. The president and his team. I mean, it was sad that the president of the UP, who claimed to be the well-educated group out there, who felt that they knew it all, they had the plan, they had the solution, they were going after the previous government, every way possible that they could, and just to find out that the disconnect that we see among them. You know, I mean, you bring an old ambassador like Charles Minor. I mean, he was a good statesman, but Ambassador Minor don't have the energy to even do any kind of put any real team together to really resolve the Liberia rights problem. The problem of Liberia rights is corruption. It's not, it's corruption. The first thing you need to do is to tackle the corruption in your own government. Just yesterday, your Minister of Public Works admitted that he violated the PPCC law. Other thing, you got the legislature there who are begging for him, begging for him and giving him mercy. I just read on the front page Africa Today, the Minister of Finance, the Deputy Minister, had inserted extra $20,000 into $180,000 deal with the hope of getting $20,000 from there as his cut. And because the director there at the time refused, he was removed. That's the corruption he needs to tackle. Your commerce minister came up and said that you were increasing risk. Yeah, or no, you say you didn't know about it, you canceled it and stuff. You rejected it, all of that. Just yesterday, again, there were other issues that were involved with corruption. So the president seemed to be disconnected. Billy came and said that they were getting a 60 million or whatever equipment, made a big announcement. Then your information minister came back and said, "Oh no, they're still working on it, or you want to disconnect." I mean, it's a whole disconnect. The issue here is corruption. Okay, Liberian rights is being controlled by all Lebanese people. Now, one Liberian,
you're mute. Somebody
got to mute.
Terrorism.
Okay. Not one Liberian you have there that even importing right is all Lebanese, and all of you are in cahoots with these people. The issue is corruption. If Waka can really deal with corruption, then you can fight the rest issues. Setting all these committee, it's just the same old Via Momo thing. That's Via Momo. The old people would say Via Momo. Okay, it's all flat to close the people mouth from the blunder that we see, the massive corruption that is it's just opening every day from different corners, different level. All this corruption that is coming out. But I mean, I don't see anything that this committee is going to do instead of addressing the rest issue in the country.
Gentlemen, someone watching our show said the other day, they work in Washington DC with these US. They said, Tomalin, apparently your country, our country, Liberia, we only act when America get vexed, that when we can act. So I sense that the case, just how people, because back in the days, when in the 80s, when I had this group they called the ACDL, they were the group headed by, I think, Amos Sawyer, them in the US. That time they were in the US and in school, whatever the case. Because Marvin was part of that group before, I think. Tom, what were you then? They were on part of that group, right? Okay, you can help me that one. Yeah, help me, Clark. Help me there. Who are the ACDL? Who are part of that group?
Okay. Were you were called to that meeting? Ellen Johnson Sally was invited. Backwards was not part of it.
Okay.
You had the late Harry Greaves, but so the Association for Constitutional Democracy in Liberia,
ACDL, yes.
So there was a split opinion. Ellen Johnson Sally, Woyu, and Harry Greaves and thought they should do business with Charles Taylor, launch a military incursion. Amos Sawyer, Ezekiel Pajiba, and others thought otherwise, that they should not deal with Charles Taylor. So there was a split.
Yeah, but
Backward Matthew was in Monrovia. He was not part of that.
Yeah, but before this the Taylor issue, they went after Toba first. Don't forget now.
No, so that was EULA, because Taylor was part of the Union of Liberians Association.
So when they demonstrated in Washington DC during Toba time, which group demonstrated here?
That group was not ACD, because Amos Sawyer then were in Monrovia at the time.
Okay, yeah.
In Liberia at the time.
Yeah, people are saying they are saying now that since we come all the time, we talk about it and nothing's happening. It's about time that people start going again before the U.S. Congress again and do testimony to talk about these things with evidence that look, our country, since the people in the country, the government, the judiciary, they are not doing anything about this, and the people are suffering, and the people have begun business as usual. We want to ask you guys to intervene. I think that's what's going to happen now. People will start going to the U.S. Congress now, and because Madam Sadi used to testify. Don't forget though, there were times that Madam Sadi testified before the U.S. Congress many times with evidence too. I remember against especially when President Doe was in office. She testified against the dual government. In fact, she became a guest speaker for EULA. When she made a comment, she said, she called them what? Idiots, right?
Mm-hmm.
She insulted the dual administration, and how come the U.S. going to protect her so? But it's about time that instead of we keep on talking, people are thinking about forming now to start going so that even they will have they won't be like a target sanction on sanction on the entire country, but we targeted sanction officials that are involved, because if people are involved now, just getting reported about some logging industry again, Liberia, it's on an attack again. They are being corruption is in the logging industry again. So the issue of the rice issue, I agree with people that say there's a cartel. If you look at the picture of those who, even the former Finance Minister Senator Kone said the other day, look at the picture that attended the meeting with President Boaka. Look at the people that attended the meeting. How many Liberians saw sitting with the president? Well, most of the Lebanese and Indians, they're controlling our staple food. And I was told that in order to be able to bring rice in the country, you must have about $13 million to do it. How many Liberians got $1 million? We said $13 million. You see? So look.
But Tomalin, I will say this. I think you're trying to jumble too many different issues, historical issues, into current issues. You want to put you are putting too many layers on top of a very simple issue. The rice issue, look, let's peel this apart. The rice issue is really corruption and lack of vision for the country. If we have leaders who are prepared to make the country feed herself, it will happen. Look, the government can announce today and say, in 3 years, we're going to reduce rice importation by 70%. It means we won't allow 30% of rice to be imported. If you want to be a major player, we advise you not to produce rice locally. Rice produced locally will be maybe for the first 5 years, we pay no duties, no taxes to government. If you do that, the very Lebanese people will go into farming. I can give you one example. George Shaddad, Bridgeville Corporation. George Shaddad decided to go into pig grade. George Shaddad was having, I think in the Lakira Mission building, one of those buildings, he was having like about 900 pigs in his pig grade. But his hope was the Liberian government would begin to, open up the market for local, farmers so they can have a share. Because you can't compete with the low, unhealthy, low-cost frozen meat from overseas, because they dump them from Brazil, from Belgium, they dump them on African market, particularly in Liberia. In West Africa, Liberia and Sierra Leone, they are the only two countries that really they dump a lot of unhealthy frozen food. But Nigeria has basically almost nearly stopped importation of frozen meat. For Benin has stopped 100%. You go in the country in Benin, you're not far imported meat. They produce their own meat, cow, pig, goat, sheep. They produce it locally, chicken. They don't allow that. Africa and other countries have reduced it. So in the case of Liberia, George Shaddad started. Many of us who are pig farmers, I have more than 200 pigs on my farm now. I have nowhere to sell it. Because if I had a pig...
I'm going like, bro, give me some, man. I can get some.
But you buy it, I'm making business. I have pig that weigh about 400 pounds, right? that
I'll do
that's
crocodile.
live weight. The dead weight could be anywhere between 300 and 320 pounds, right? But someone will come to me and say, I want to pay $100 for it. But I spend almost $200 just to keep the pig up to that point. I can sell it less than $200. The minimum I can go for will be $250. So the option I have is to go and buy the frozen meat, which is very unhealthy. But it's so because the government allow 100% importation of meat. So we can't compete with them. So George, what he did, he shut down his piggery. He sold out the 900 pigs. He said, well, we can all bring the rotten meat and sell it. That's all British Corporation is doing. So the thing is lack of vision and corruption. If the legislature and the Ministry of Agriculture, they are serious, we'll have locally produced food on the market. If we don't have laws, we don't have policy that say from this year to this year, this is how much you allow rice importation, this is how much you allow frozen food to come in the country. If they keep opening and hoping that local farmers will compete with imported food, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. All these things that just Vlad, you can put your rice committee if you don't have the right institution of Vlad.
Serious Vlad. That's true. That's true. You're right, Cabo. It's real Vlad. You are very right. Vlad.
Yeah.
You're right.
Welcome, Chuchu Jones and Steve, commonly called Moses. But let me make some clarification, right? ACDL, I just got it. My man, never watched our show. ACDL was Ellen Johnson Salif, Amos Claudio Sawyer, Harry Greaves Jr., and Ezekiel Pajibo. They're on Baron Taj. He joined them.
But that's exactly what I said.
Yeah. So I don't want to make that correction because I mixed it up earlier. But look, a rice issue is a problem. Now, somebody is saying should open the rice market to everyone, but I don't think it is advisable to open the rice market to everybody to import rice. Things it will mess it up. But
why you think so? We say we are free market economy. Why you don't restrict all commodity? You want to restrict rice?
But you can do it. But you open the market, but maybe everybody will weigh in. But you got to do it with caution. Okay, with caution. You open it to everybody, then the market will be flooded. It will be. I don't know what will happen, but
no. You see, so the market forces will determine. We have an economist here, Chuchu Jones, even though he's a civil engineer, also he's an engineer. I have respect for scientists, or natural scientists. So, but listen, Tomalin, if you open the market forces will determine. That whole thing about $13 million, I don't buy that argument. Because those who carry maybe 100 or 200 bags from the US to Liberia don't have to deposit that money. They just have to have the capacity to buy that rice in the US, take it to Liberia. So if I have the capacity, I have a account on Alibaba. I've actually put in for, I was just trying something, not anything serious. I put in for what? 2,000 bags of rice from China. And I got a quotation. If I pay the money they want, I will carry it to Liberia. I don't need $13 million. Where the $13 million is coming from? That's a scheme they use to control the market. You don't need that. There is no law. There's no law under the Ministry of the Act creating the Ministry of Commerce. There is no law in the PFN law. There's no law that says you must have 13 million.
Okay.
There's no law.
Okay.
Let the who send out and show it. Where is the law?
Okay, let me bring in Chuchu and Steve. I just got they said a price of 25 kg on the old road today is $17.50 US. Oh my God. $17.50 US for a price of 25 kg bag of rice. Look, after we talk about the rice issue, the next thing we'll talk about was we're petitioning people here to start taking action on people who are engaged in corruption, who taking it for a joke because we talk, they say what they can say, you're taught tire for 6 years. You're taught tire. But I thought tire, when they start coming after them, then we'll get serious. Because seriously, we're not stop now. It's getting to the point where we got to start taking some action, getting action so that people can come to their senses. But Chuchu, welcome, and you're weighing on the rest issue, and then from there we'll go to Steve.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Tomalin and Dr. Peabody. Nice to see you. Gonglo. And Steve is here. Wow. Good to see you, Steve.
Good to see
All
you.
right.
See you. What's up?
So first of all, I want to thank Gullible Gongo for pointing out the Minister of Public Work sole sourcing Tabasco. You know, most times we don't give people credit. People will do the hard work, they do the research, and then once they get in the public, then he was the one when the minister was here to ask the minister about those questions, educated us about it, and I believe that how it got to the Senate, and they later found that this man violated the law. The law, he said it. So thank you for that, and brilliant work. We never mentioned it yesterday, but I think we should for all the Liberian people to know. Uh, Timothy, I put together a proposal production, mechanized farming proposal, I believe last week, and I believe that you're aware of it. We've been looking into this for a long time. We researched it. This is not something because of politics. So when I came out and said that it's a very difficult process, it's a very difficult process. It's not something you can get any novice to come out and talk about rice production. I think I highlighted in my proposal, which I assumed that the committee that the president have set up would give it some consideration, because I think that's the only way we can efficiently grow food in Liberia. And I would just go over a little bit of it. One is you have to set up at least 2 Liberian corporations. They have to be non-political. They cannot be appointed by the president. The CEO cannot be appointed by the board of directors. You need to fund them. You need to give them a very low interest loan. Currently, loans in Liberia, the interest rate is over 15%, almost 20%. You cannot run a business, much less a farm in Liberia, with very high interest rate. If you try that, the rice price will be double if you produce it in Liberia. And lastly, you need to open an agriculture bank. No country can produce rice when you don't have constant financing. The intent of the agriculture bank was not just to give farmers, but to also fund the activities in terms of equipment, in terms of, the whole production circle, water, fertilizers, and all those things. So I've already done the work. Again, the Liberian government going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a bunch of people who know nothing about farming, who had no solution. People become minister with no plan. And it took me 2 hours, and I came up and I gave the Liberian people a plan. I challenged anybody to refute the plan or argue against the plan. So you have your solution, and that's the way I think we can address rice in Liberia. Open 2 corporations. I even offer, I will be more than happy to help the government, to help with our process of selecting people to help manage and run it. But once the government is over it, that's the end of it. Once it becomes a political appointed position, my hand is not inside, because that's the end of it. You're just going to waste it. Okay. So I'll stop there, give my brother the chance to come and come on.
Okay. Chuchu is making some proposals. I hope the agriculture minister is. I hope people are listening to forward to him. I will also hope to reach out to him so he can come here on his show too to maybe hear what you got to say. Rice is a political commodity. It's not a joke. We know what rice have done in that country. You don't play with rice. Now I'm hearing somebody just told me that they bought rice today for $20 US. So that the person gave me was wrong. The person said they bought $20 for that 25 kg for the $4,300 for Liberian for the rice for that rice Liberian dollars. And somebody also said $21. So look, and so I mean the rice price is not stable. It's not been stabilized yet. It's not stable. It's just with everybody having their own prices, giving their own price depending on how they got it rice. But Moses or Steve, man, welcome. Good to see you.
But Tomalin, Steve, I don't want to take your time. Let me take a few seconds and correct and say something that I disagree with our moderator here, Mr. George. before you come, Steve, I'm so sorry. I'm happy that you're here. You're a brother. You know, the whole argument about rice being a political commodity, I disagree with it, Tom. We have to start to put this in proper context. If you look historically, every time we change government, those who are political investors in the political process, they go through the rice to increase the price of rice in order to get back the money they invested in the process. It happened in 2006 when Ellen Johnson said he came to power. It happened when we are came to power. They are testing Bouaka now to get that money quick. That's all they're doing. They invested in one side of the political process. They always do that. Once they get the money, they invest in the why every time after election. There are two things that happen in Liberia all of the time, and we must observe it. Anytime we are going to election, we change our banknote. People make money, they make millions of dollars. After election, rice price, wahala starts. They want to make the money quick. I stop there. So it's actually a commodity of political investors. It's not just a political, they are capturing. It's not a political commodity as such.
Yeah, okay, as before you coming, before Steve coming, but we should agree that rice is a political commodity though. It's something that people use it for politics. We've also seen it. People like, for instance, people can use rice to influence votes, influence how people vote. So, well, you know something, we hold the rice, create a shortage of rice in the country, or with a very ship coming to Liberia with rice and so forth. But again, let's hear from Steve. Steve, welcome, man.
Thank you, Tomalin. Thanks, Dr. Peabody. Good to see you. Kelly, good to see you. And Ahmed Chuchu, Alex Jones, good to see you. As always, I like to recognize the Liberian people. It's my debut. I've never been on a closing argument. I've followed the closing argument, never been on. It's good to be on. I believe the Liberian people are the most important people on earth. But most importantly, I believe the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth. I don't see any one of these gentlemen on here that could challenge me on that. And if you want to be political about it, then it will be at your own detriment.
Anybody who will say challenge you?
You already know what time it is. But quickly speaking, first of all, for me, this conversation is very embarrassing. Anytime you talk about rice or agriculture, and you mention the current president, Joseph Bouaka, name in it, and we are having this kind of rigmarole, it is embarrassing. One of the very first things that brought the president to prominence in his career was the whole issue of agriculture, whether you like it or not. During those days, according to history, our common Liberian saying, Lofa became the bread basket, and United Party people a few months ago ran on it that it was Joseph Bouaka's tenure under his term when President Doe was in power, that we had Lofa as the bread basket or whatever it is. And he got all the praises and everything. So how come we're talking about rice business? But let's bring it to most recent times. President Joseph Yuma Bouaka had an interview with BBC on March 28th. In fact, let me read two excerpts from the interview. Quote, in Africa, we are not going to manufacture new aircraft or new automobiles, but we can feed the word, he tells BBC Africa Daily. He never stopped there. This is what he proceeded to say. We have the water, we have the soil, we have the land. We don't need to import the amount of rice we're importing. We can feed ourselves. If we cut down corruption, use our resources properly, we can feed ourselves and even export rice. What happened to what Joseph Bouaka said on March 28th? What happened to that? So Joseph Bouaka has all this brilliant idea. He's the president. He's in command. What's going on with it? And so when we start to have these kind of conversations, to be very honest, for me personally, and as a Liberian, I believe this is problematic. I believe this is troubling because the president is asserting here, and this is one of the things he's been credited for, though, the issue of rights or agriculture. This is one of the things the president has been credited for. So what is happening now? He's in charge now. So, I mean, folks, I don't know. I'm going to leave it with you guys. I'm not here to say somebody can offer ideas or suggestions or not. It's up to everyone. But I'm saying just having this conversation alone. Honor President George Weah. I don't support President George Weah, but let the facts be told. Rice price was what? $17.50. to 18 out of 50 cents, at least it fluctuated between there. How come in less than 6 months we get an increase in rice price? The Liberian people are asking, how come? What is happening? The roles under President George were not changed? Or what happened? Ukraine war and war under President George where the rice price was the same? Ukraine war finished? Or they added a second war in Ukraine or another European country? Folks, let's start joking. Let's get serious. President Joseph Yuma Bwaga is not serious about the issue of rice. In fact, I'm from SK TV. And everything I say here today, I'm fully responsible for it. In fact, on SK TV, it's been reported to us by members of the rice importers. This is a conspiracy against the Liberian people. Joseph Bwaga knows about this. Amin Moda knows about this. And they're playing games with the Liberian people. This is just simple. Let's be clear about the issue.
Wow. But let me ask the question, right? Do you guys think this committee that was set up, do you think it will be able to solve the rice problem, the rice problem, the rice in the country? And secondly, I talked to someone, I don't want to call the person name. The person said, well, one of the proposals they were making to the cabinet is that prior to the war, I don't know, most of you guys remember what they call the PL480 program. It was an agreement between some program of the U.S. government and the Liberian government, where we were buying rice from America. We all had rice on the market. That program, Powerball rice. I think President Doe came out and said, President Doe said, after he said the Green Revolution launched it, he said, well, Liberian will go back to the soil. Don't have a farm. Start going to the farm and say, look, we'll stop importing Powerball rice after 1985. Something year he gave to stop it. But do you think if the government will come out and say, look, we're giving our Liberian farmers maybe the next 3 or 4 years. After that, we'll reduce we'll allow a certain amount of rice to be imported in the country. Do you think it will solve the problem, or this group that was set up by the president, you think they'll come out to have a solution for this rice issue? Steve?
Well, let me say this first of all. The whole issue about setting up so-called committee is a joke. It's to bad time. It's to bad time because President Joseph Yuma Bwaga and the UP-led government and some politicians in Liberia know fair well that most of us Liberians, we have short attention spans. We don't keep up with issues. We don't stick with the issue. We skip from one thing to another. That's who we are as Liberians, most of us, right? And so, if President Joseph Yuma Bwaga sat with the rice importers, think about this for a second. The president of the republic sat with the rice importers to discuss the issue of rice increase, the prices in rice increase. And it did not materialize. That committee will talk to them and listen to them. Just think about it. For example, I'll make it typical. My pa goes and talk to the people, to beg the people. They say no. But my pa grabbed me and my brother and my sister and other small people in the family and say, y'all go solve that problem. You really think the right importers go? Let me tell you something, Tomalin. This is gimmicks. This is games. The government is not serious. They're not ready for this. In fact, the rice price will remain that way because it benefits them. The one that not caught. The one that, let me say the Liberian with me, I'm not here to go around the bush or to be diplomatic or anything, because the truth is the truth. Whether you say it diplomatically, you say the simple English way, that's the truth. And the truth that is, these guys want to caught. And the only way they can do it is to make sure the pressure the rice importers threaten them that they will bring new people on board or whatever it is for these guys to keep playing with the games. Now, this whole idea of getting a group to go and talk to them or committee or whatever are all showmanship. The last committees they form, what did the committee do? And you have asset recovery team. You watch and see if this committee, and you have asset recovery team. What the asset recovery team did? They do nothing. Fusa. So I'm saying to the Liberian people, this is all joke. And the Liberian people should encourage the government, pressure this government to ensure that the rice price either remains the same, because this was a promise on the campaign. This was a commitment by Joseph Yuma Bwaga, and they should take nothing less than this. The government should be able to ensure that they keep the rice price either at where it was or they lower the price. Simple. We shouldn't be going circle this thing. That's my honest recommendation.
We are live on Hot FM, True FM. We have the free thinker, Henry Peabody. We have the Mav Juniors, Kalabo Gonglo, the movement to make Nigeria better, Alex Jones, and SKTV on Steve Bole, called Moses. And they are making this discourse interesting. Let's get on. Peabody, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I agree with what I've been saying this from the beginning of this show. I agree with what Moses had just said. The whole thing, like Karapu said, is flawed. It's complete scam, high grade, to calm the Liberian people down. Less than 5 months, we can count over 20 different areas of corruption in this government. Less than 5 months. I mean, rampant. They are doing it without dignity and any respect for the Liberian people. We can count it. I had reservation here when the public work minister came out and said, "Oh, these are with so saying, oh, this road is doing this $22 million," but you hiring the same people who did not complete the first contract. You still giving them contract to do it. The finance minister, the commerce minister came up and said, "Oh, the rights will be reduced." The next day, the president said, "No, it's not." Back and forth lies, back and forth. And the Liberian people, like Steve said, all God is ADD, or we forget very quick that something else. The corruption. Look at some of the things that are happening today, like the stuff I read with Daily Observer. That was so tempting. It was so disgraceful. I mean, everywhere you turn now is corruption to this place, corruption at this place. So what did they run on? What that mantra they came on? Oh, we will change this. We'll ensure that this happen. We'll ensure that we'll go after President. We are for this. Nothing. In fact, you are becoming worse than. President, we are sitting back in his chair now. He's just rocking it and laughing at you guys. Because the first place they came to power with other plan. They had no plan. Even up to now, up to yesterday, they still appointing people to position in government. They had no plan for these people. So the thing is, who is in control? That's my question. Is President Biden really in control of what's going on in his government? Who's in control? What's the protocol? President Biden have not attended one meeting in the sub-region. They had a scam meeting in Texas that he came. No other president was there. The only place he let him come is where other African leaders are not. Then he comes there for meeting. You can fly all the way to the U.S. for some meeting. You went back. Other country was getting millions and millions of dollars. You went back home with nothing. Okay? There's meeting going on in Korea and other places. If you can't go, why not you send your vice president to go to that meeting to represent Liberia? Nothing. All you're doing is everybody coming in, they're behind on the chopping, so they're trying to catch up. It's been almost 6 years, and everybody trying to catch up. And that's what we see. What will become a Liberia? The same 06 and 9. Next year again, we'll come back again and talk the same old thing. Complete nonsense, conflict of everything.
Let
me just
I come to you, somebody is suggesting that we encourage the government to review the ADA LAP rice project in Lofa. All the equipment is still in FOIA. It was funded by the Libyan, funded the rice production. They funded it. Do you agree? We should go back to that to that program.
Tomalin, sometimes people can just talk impossible things. In 2017, in 2017, it's like in 2017. What is this guy? Is that Anderson McIntosh? McIntosh and President Bwaka went head to head on this issue, and the man must be president. They audit such a audit. What are you talking about? He wants to bring his head down. It will never happen.
Also, Bwaka will not touch the issue,
He will never touch it. McIntosh accused that President Bwaka was the cause of the failure.
Oh,
you remember?
Yeah, I'm reading now. William McIntosh, founder of ADA. Yeah. Oh.
He went public in 2017. In fact, President Bwaka had a whole press conference to clarify. Forget about that one day. It will never happen. He can't sanction committee to order him. No. Forget about it. It's like telling the asset recovery team to also cover Unity Party period for 12 years. It will never happen. Because the office of the vice president was never audited, the legislature was never audited, the executive mansion was never audited, the judiciary was never audited under Unity Party. So you cannot have the asset recovery to look into that period. They may uncover things that might have different links. So the only safe area they can audit is the WIA area, not nowhere else. So that's why the WIA area is where the asset recovery is focused on. They can't focus on the Unity Party era because many of the places were not audited and things might They might, bump into stuff that might cause uneasiness in many quarters. They can't do that. But I just wanted to say quickly, like Peabody was trying to talk about the rights issue. One of my professors told me this before. He said, Gonglo, when people are talking about let's develop roadmap, let's have a strategy on simple issues, it means they have no idea yet. They're trying to buy time. This rights issue is nothing new. It has been with us as old as Liberia is, right? We have different ways. It's the way to address it. All of these people in the government know it. Like Steve said earlier, the rights committee is an attempt to just buy time. We don't need rights committee. If agriculture sector is not working, then let's just remove the guys out there and put the people you put on the rights committee. It means they have better idea on that sector. If the commerce sector is not working, then remove them and put the people on the rights committee there. That's all. But you have institution with statutory mandate, let them do their job. Don't bring extra committee with them. Let them do their job.
So now, okay. Chuchu, you can weigh in this one. So we've been talking about this issue for a while now. People are saying that. So what's the end game? What's the solution to it? What are we proposing now? What should happen? What are we saying? What should we put forward? Chuchu?
Well, I can give you the simple answer. The simple answer for that is better leadership. When people talk about
running a country, let me interrupt you there. It's not happening now. You got five more years before it happens. So what?
Okay, then maybe maybe this will serve the Liberian people better. So 5 years from now, they can understand that when you're electing a president, you also electing how much you're going to pay for rice, how much you're going to, how you're going to live. So that's a simple answer. And the reason is, if a president, you're running a country and you don't have a plan for the stable food, that's a disaster. How can you now set up a committee almost 6 months into your administration? You've been sitting down for 5 years, right? You don't have any plan. You're now setting up a committee to go look into it before you can derive a plan. How can you, what kind of president is this? For at least the most basic things, we've been crying out. Where's the economic plan? We'll be asking these political leaders, where's your plan? At least if you give the plan, we can look into it and say, all right, this makes sense, this does not make sense. And then at this point, you can make adjustment. But you don't even have a plan. President Boga does not have a plan. That's why he just told the Liberian people, I don't know what to do on the rights issue. All right. Number two, when you select a minister, right, whether finance or commerce or agriculture, the part of the reason you are selecting that person is because that person has offered some solution in that area. So how do you select a commerce minister with all commerce minister presenting to you one of the most top issue, like you said, political issue on rice? How is that? Because they're your nephew? Because that's the reason you bring several people and you talk to different people, like how you hire anywhere, whether United Nations or wherever, or any organization. You bring, let's say you bring Steve, you bring Lofa, you bring Dr. Peabody. You're looking for your commerce minister. Steve, tell me how we're going to address this rice issue. Steve gave you a plan, and Dr. Peabody gives you his plan. Lofa gave you his plan. Then you talk to your advisors. They're all in a panel. You all sit down and say, okay, look, we think Lofa has a better grip of this situation, so let's appoint Lofa. That's how you hire people. You don't hire people because, they mayor in my campaign, I like that mayor, I related to him, or from Lofa County or from wherever county. So two things. Number one, the president didn't have a plan and we elected him. No economic plan, no plan on agriculture. So he set up another committee, right? Secondly, the people he brought into the government, they don't even have a clue. You know what I'm saying? So now they're waiting for somebody else to come out and say, okay, Mr. Minister, this is what we need to do. Or let's look at Alex Jones' plan. Let's open the Ministry of the Bank of Agriculture Bank. They say, okay, yeah, I see. So that's your first problem, that you got a bunch of people who are incapable about leadership. And when we say it sounds like a cliche, it sounds like, it's just a political statement. But clearly, they do not know what they are doing. And this is just the beginning, because rice prices globally have gone up. All right. Number two, like you talk about the plan, about the Libyan plan. Even if you have a plan, the second thing, you got to have people who are capable of managing that plan. So that's the second part about it. Growing rice require a lot of water. If you go to that page, you'll see I have a whole video on it. There's a whole video I added, the whole process from start to finish and everything. And if you miss any one of those steps, you'll not get a good yield. So the question isn't let grow food or our farmers locally. Nowhere you can have local farmers, subsistence farming, right? It's enough to generate enough yield to fuel the country. You got to mechanize it. So the local farmers can produce food for themselves. That says, for their own subsistence. But they don't have the capacity. They don't have the machinery to farm, several hectares of land, thousands of hectares of land, to process it, to distribute it. They can't do it. That's not their purpose. You have to have that's why you have the LMPC, who will collect all the rice, the small rice from all the different farmers, then process it, then before they package it and redistribute it around the country. It never worked. We still had to input. So basically, our rice plan has been free put. This is a plan that I'm telling you is difficult. The reason it's difficult, is managing the bank. You never hear any Liberian politician says, "Oh, I want to be here to Echo Bank," or "I want to be here to, Access Bank." Why? Because it's difficult. But they want to be minister. Minister is easy. So running Liberian farming is Dr. Peabody and the professor here. Even if Larry, who is one of the most, I would say one of the top financial experts, even if you give him $100 million tomorrow and say, go grow food in Liberia, it would be a difficult thing. He got to get the right engineers. He got to get the right managers, the local managers. He got to get the right processes down. He got to use technology now, because the rainfall, the weather, all those different things affect it. So in essence, we're screwed. We selected the wrong president that never had any plan, and we're just going to pay $20 for rice on average. And that is going to go up, because, sorry to say, the food prices with inflation globally is going up. Now, all you can't do anything about it except to subsidize the Lebanese people.
Well,
we
just got to understand we got 5 years to have another election. So we just we found. But again, we'll let Julius and Professor Kenneth win the rest before we move. But one of the things people want to hear from us tonight is every time we come on this platform, we talk about the issues affecting the country, those who are undermining the public trust. And when you tell them, they give you they exhibit arrogance to you. They say, "Your talk, you're tired. Your talk, you're tired." So now people are saying we should be whatever we should take another step. By maybe now send the only listen to America, the American book, and any time when the American book act before we can act, maybe we should start going to them and say, "Look, carry evidence to the people. Say, look, that's example. We got these things about the issue about I find out what people have brought about this guy, the deputy finance minister, trying to increase the amount of in some part of the budget, and the other guy saying no, and the guy got fired for it. We'll get the evidence you bring forward, and that particular person, if it's true, is proven that he did that. For example, guys, you fire him. We all know fire and say the Justice Ministry.
It's in the front page newspaper, so we can try to get that guy. It's in the front page. Yeah.
Get all the documents, get him involved, and if that's the case, we put him forward. Just like you tell him, say you give him a chance to come and clear his side. He'll tell you to evade, he does you, So I think that what we end up doing. If I reach out to you, I give you opportunity to come and clear, to come and to talk, give your own side of the story. If you're accused of something, if you refuse to come and to be here out, we'll definitely expose you. I will not draw back from you. We'll put you up there, and we'll call for your dismissal or a prosecution. That's what we should do. But Julius, that year from you on the right issue, and Dr. Kennedy before we move forward.
So, great to be back on here. Steve, welcome to my brother Steve. I think, like you rightfully stated, it's your debut on here, so great to share, well, I would say share a platform with you because we always share a platform. So, but just good to have you on here, and everybody else, good to be back on here. Wednesday, doing the people's job. What Tomalin spoke of earlier regarding our next step, I want to say welcome on board because some of us already started doing this, like sending communications to our lawmakers and following up. Thank God that some of us, I mean, we're not too far from, where our lawmakers are actually, situated. So we've been doing that, and we asked that other Liberians in the diaspora join us to make sure that we can get this done. It is very important that we all unite and make this to happen because, as just as important as it is for us to criticize these folks on the social media and other things, if we don't act, guess what's going to happen? They're just going to continue to say to us that we will talk for 6 consecutive years. All right. The reason why today we are discussing the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court is because others saw reason to be consistent. And it was the consistency in the fight for justice and accountability for which today the likes of Emmanuel Chavez, the likes of Yesendi Martin Perrier, Steve, myself, and other people who consistently stood up and protested. All right. We went to DC because we wanted our voices heard. We wanted justice. When others at the time, CDC was making mockery of us. In fact, they called us enemies of the state. Back then, we were doing it in the interest of Liberia. And we made the sacrifices to take time off our busy schedule to go to these places. So it is a great idea. We said, come on board, let all of us do it. We don't have to organize a group to do it. The fact that we are even initiating this idea, it would draw attention to some of these thieves. Some of those who actually came to power and are simply relying. Some of those who failed miserably in other places, and they're using this as an opportunity to enrich themselves. The idea of this whole group being formed to address the issue of rights, you and I know the mere fight, for obvious reasons, that this is not going to happen. If the rights team that is being organized is one that is going to benefit Liberia, then let's look at the asset recovery team. What have we gathered from the assets recovery team? You and I sat here, and I told you this, Tomalin. I told you, as you asked about the president, you said upon his return, some of his able lieutenants are asking for him to act. And I told you, I said there will be nothing done about it because those individuals you hear complaining, President Burkhardt really don't care about them. His idea was to use them to get to where he is today. And now that he's there, the rest of them can go cry. They can complain to whoever. Henry Costa can attest to this. And several other Liberians who have been used and dashed. So what I'm hearing here or sensing is simply the president's idea to just navigate his way through it because his style of leadership is not to actually tackle the issue with solutions. He always pivot his way through it and run away from the solution. He never proffered any suggestion as to how we can better Liberia. I sit here sometimes and wonder why self-proclaimed educated Liberians even made the decision to support President Burkhardt. I listened to John Molu today. You're crying. Wipe your tears and take it. You knew better than that. You did not see any result from this individual throughout his professional career, all of his tenure in government. You didn't one day see him proffer any suggestion as to how we can better our society or the government. Instead, you trusted him with the highest office in the country, and you expect us to move forward? This entire group that is being arranged to now address the rights issue, it is, again, another opportunity for them to just escape the reality on ground. The lie about the machine, okay? The lie about the inaugural funds, and several other things. In fact, he even showed how incompetent he is by having to hire several individuals whom he had to call back. This is sad. This is sad, and there is no way on earth that we can sit here and say that we will believe that this group of people that are coming together can provide any solution to the rights problem in Liberia. The people themselves in Liberia need to do something. They need to act accordingly because these individuals claim that they were educated. They claim that they were more sophisticated. They were experienced. Let them provide the solution to Liberia's problem. Thank you.
Okay, want to welcome again Representative Musa Berete, who joined us tonight, be part of this panel tonight. And before I go to Professor Kennedy, let me say this though. In the next maybe 72 hours, a former U.S. president could either be convicted for crime, or could be acquitted, or maybe a mistrial. So this says that no one's above the law. And also a representative in America now, he's facing his House Ethics Committee, Representatives Collar, for accepting bribes, gratuities, and improper gifts as a foreign agent. That means he was working with some foreign government, and now he has been booked here, his wife. So many times we notice that, I think you all can attest to the fact that we have not acted in a country where, I think since Madam Salif appointed the global witness for special prosecutor, I've not seen nobody act again. No president acted again to say, well, your special prosecutor, go after those who are undermining the public trust. We have not seen it yet. And this is why, the new government just coming to power. When you talk to some of them, they believe that things are fine. Yes, America, our foreign partners give you this long rope. When you just take power, the long rope, as soon as you get comfortable, honestly, I'll be honest with you, the day they sanctioned Minister McGill and the other guys in CDC government, I was shocked that day. Even though I was told a few days before it happened, one of the journalists told me, say, the guys that brought the sanction people in the country, I was shocked. And they did it when the president was on his county tour, and when they did that. And then after that, it came out a lot of sanctions and so forth. Because apparently that's the only way we can act in Liberia. And I believe that all of what we're hearing now happening in this new government, with the issue of corruption happening now, and the president has not acted, I believe as soon as come December, whatever the case, the person is on having put on sanction, I'm sure the president will wake up from his slumber. But Professor Kennedy, I know you can provide us a lot of understanding in this area because you work with these things, and all these before you sanction people are sanctioned, you guys already get the gist of it. Because of where you work, privilege where you work, that's good. That's one of the good things for your job and so. But help us up there, issue of what we're discussing about the rights issue and so forth.
Yeah, I think one of the issues, and thanks so much, Chief. Always great to be on a closing argument because you guys tend to elevate the conversation, right? It's always a good thing. I think one of the issues where this administration is running into a problem, they had a late start. So what they could have done before the election, they could have put together their team and start looking at policies. This is where some people say they call it a shadow government, whatever you want to call it. But you put together a strong team and you start looking at the different sectors. And one would be like the Ministry of Commerce and this rights issue. It would be because you look at the previous administration and you see the issues they ran into. You just look at historically, you just look at the issues, and the issues tend to repeat themselves. So you should know well in advance what you're going to be facing, right? So you should have a policy in place. The current policy to keep kowtowing to the rice importers, like what my man Alex mentioned, that's nonsense. Why is it nonsense? It's never worked in the past. What makes you think it's going to work now? So what you need to do, you have to let the market determine prices, right? The free enterprise thing. Because rice is not one of those commodities that is so difficult to get your hands on that you need a cartel to run rice in your country. It makes absolutely no sense.
No sense.
There are several solutions to dealing with the rice issue. One of them is to increase supply. How do you increase supply? Well, you stop this nonsense with this whole cartel. Let people who want to import. You have to increase the amount of suppliers in the economy. So even if the government wanted to intervene by going out there and purchasing rice and bringing it back, they would still be able to sell at a lower price because they don't have to pay certain taxes, certain import fees, and all of those things. They don't have to do it. So they can sell their rice at a lower price. But we know governments are not very efficient at doing these things. So you don't want them to get their hands on it because next thing you know, we'll find out somebody have stolen 10 million or so and disappeared. So you don't want them involved in that. So free the market, stop this whole business with this whole cartel with rice. And you see how quickly the price of rice comes down. Here's the other thing. People are paying attention simply to the price of rice. But what is really hurting everybody in the country is the devaluation of the Liberian dollars. Because if you're saying you require X number of Liberian dollars right now to buy rice, as the value of the Liberian dollar, which has been falling since inauguration, if the value of the Liberian dollar keeps falling, it becomes even more expensive to buy the same commodity. So people need to pay close attention to that. Go to the central bank's website, keep a close eye on the value of the Liberian dollars. So there are solutions in there, but what does it require? It requires leadership. It requires courage. It requires the leader to step up to the plate and say, look, this is what we're going to do. And don't let the cartel determine how you're going to lead your country, because that's not good. On issues of sanctions, and I'm glad you mentioned what's happening to President Trump. No country has ever developed without having a strong rule of law in your country. It's not going to happen. Even if you go all the way back, the United Kingdom, as powerful as they were, when they decided to start putting the rule of law in place, that's when they reformed. So with this, despite everything that is going on, if you don't have a strong judicial system, you're not going to attract foreign direct investments. It's not going to happen, because the investors will say, if I go to that country, if I get ripped off, let's say the president's son forever robbed me or something and nothing happens to that person, then you're not going to attract more investors. So you need a rule of law. You just mentioned Senator Bob Menendez from New Jersey. He and his wife, they're in hot water. Why? Because they were working as foreign agents for, I think, I don't know if it was Egypt or some country in the Middle East, but then he tried to hide it because they were paying him in gold bars and some other stuff. He tries to hide it, right? Even a former senior guy in the FBI was recently arrested on the FCPA, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, because he was working for the Russian government, didn't reveal it. He got busted, and now he's facing almost 20 years in prison. Regardless of who you are, they will put you on trial. Can you ever imagine some of the corrupt people that we see in Liberia? If they were in the US, a lot of those people that be in prison. They'd be in prison. They won't be out there being elected as senators or representatives or being put in charge of a ministry. It's not going to happen. So I think Liberia is at a junction right now where the people will have to do what the former ambassador to Liberia mentioned, right? Carpe diem, seize the moment. You have to do something, because otherwise, reporting things to the U.S. government will look at its own interest in the country, and they may not even take any action, because if their interest in the country in terms of minerals exceed the complaints that are coming from the people, nothing's going to happen. So pay attention to the value of the Liberian dollars. Pay attention to the fact that if nothing happens real soon, people might start protesting, and that will grab their attention. It will force the administration to make a move, which may not even be the right move.
Tomalin, you unmute your phone. Okay.
I go to Representative Beard. But Professor Kennedy, let me ask you quickly. You think with all what's happening now, the issue, a lot of things been happening. There have been issues of hearing corruption there, yonder, the issue of the machine, issue of the rest issue. You think by the time the president have cabinet retreat, he had cabinet retreat, and then different meetings and so forth. You think by the time the president get to the microphone, address the Liberian people, and take questions from and engage the Liberian public through the media, you think by the time
Yeah, the president should have done that a long time ago, because this was all the criticism that were levied against President Weah, right? President Weah wouldn't speak to the public, wouldn't address the nation. This should be done a long time ago. But another thing the president should pay close attention to, because all of these issues are reasons why people tend to fail the MCC. Because if the MCC is something that you consider important to your country because of the amount of money involved, then you're not going to do too well in the governance issue. You're going to fail in the governance issue. You're not going to do too well in the corruption. You're not going to do too well in addressing economic and fiscal issues. So All of these things have impact on you, because even then, when the 2023-2024 U.S. Human Rights Report comes out, again, it's not going to reflect kindly on you, right? So these are things, it's like you put your first 11 on the field. They're struggling. But rather than you analyze the game and kind of change your strategy before it gets too late, you wait until you're down 5-0, then you say, oh, now I need to make a move. It's too late. It's too late. You have to nip it in the bud, step up, address the nation, look at these issues, get some technical people in place, and deal with it before it gets worse. Because if you try to play catch up, you may not succeed.
But Tomalin, quickly, before you bring representability, let me just say, if you hear President Boycott address the concerns of the Liberian people, then you heard him address the CPP issue and several other things that happened prior to his presidency. If that happens, then I guess something might have changed overnight. But again, he's only telling you the personality that he possessed, his leadership style, like somebody said, if there is one. But that's it.
Well, let me bring representability. One thing I give credit to former President Salih, former President Taylor, former President Doe. They were very good at engaging the public through the media, which helped them a lot, because since they have an issue about the fire issue, rest issue, the yellow machine now, the issue about the getting corruption here, all there, yonder, all these things and so forth. I think it's about time that the president stand before the microphone, address the nation, and take questions from the people. Let it hear from him. Yeah, you got Ministry of Information, monthly, weekly press briefing. That's not enough. The press secretary, that's not enough. And hear from you. You have the bullet puppet. Hear from you. I think it's important. And I don't know, the next scorecard, the MCC's scorecard, will it be reflecting on this government or the former government? Which one will be reflecting? That's MCC's scorecard.
It'll be based on the previous government performance, but you don't expect anything to happen in the first year with this new administration. So I don't expect them to win anything, because they're just coming in, because the credit would be given to a president if that were the case. So I expect them to be analyzed based on what's happening in 2024. So this is where you look at Freedom House. These are all the people then who are providing evidence over to the Millennium Challenge Corporation. So it's gonna reflect in 2024, but still, you want to do your best in 2024 to be able to win that compact. That's a huge boost to your economy.
Well, Professor, let me just hold back on that.
Good to see you, but you come at a time where there's a lot of issues happening. One of the recent time we had yesterday, the Minister of Public Works, the Committee on Public Works took the minister off the hook. I think since 1847, my first time seeing where the Senate plenary would say they're begging for those who have oversight over. It's like, I don't know how we can describe it, but to see the plenary, this Committee on Public Works begging the plenary to take the minister off the hook because he had what they call an inadvertent misstep and with good intention. It was surprising. It's surprising. And that issue with the rest issue too, again, that we're hearing too, the committee have been set up, plus the yellow machine. And the issue, I think everybody been hitting on you high. You came off first that day, and people were disappointed. Somebody said, you have been doing good all along, but then the issue with the machine, you came on right away, and people say, I think they say you blunder. I know, but you have the opportunity to clear the air. Yeah, with all these things, because most of those who are supporting and defending you, they were like, oh no, So, yes, let's talk to us more. Let me hear from you.
Well, good evening to everybody. Let me just say that governance is a very difficult thing, I must say. And also, no matter how much I think of myself, no matter how much I say I'm this and that, this is my first time. So, I'm learning. I recognize that the statement I made was inappropriate, and I apologize, the last time on SKTV, and I'm doing it again. And what necessitated the apology even more is that sometimes you have a sense of patriotism, nationalism. So you don't really care whether what you do suppose the government and you are seen as, oh, this man is supposed to be opposition. You know, I've always been in such situation. I was in the same situation like this when George Weah was president. So I recognize that. But what made this even the reason why I said that maybe I should never have made a statement was that the people for whom you thought you made a statement that they can pop themselves up, gather steam, and try to synchronize the information to come to the people. They are arrogant, they are narcissistic, and they they don't care. You know, the next day you expect the government now, since some of us felt that they were making a pronouncement, and people who criticize me, I just beg them to bear with me. I am representing the part of Liberia that is in the rural part, and they're struggling with these things. And any noise in any corner to say that there's relief coming for the people, it brings excitement to me. And I did not take it. It was not with prejudice to the process. It was not without regard to the procurement process and other things. But yes, maybe I shouldn't have made that statement, and I apologize for it. The the other issue is, I mean, I sincerely, honestly sorry for my country. Honestly, I mean, there's no other way to put it. Yesterday, watching the Senate, I was in a meeting, in Europe, and I felt so bad that senators who, according to the Constitution, supposed to have oversight over the goes and cook up an arrangement in which it ends in what Steve can say, fly. I mean, you have certain right. That right is you can oversee, you can check people, but you do not have the right to pardon. That right is in the Constitution. Only the president can do that. Those senators, their action is disgraceful. And it's an abdication of responsibility. And, I was, on a network last night, and somebody asked me a very interesting question and say, now the machine we are being told is not coming. But other information is that this machine has either been put on the ship and it's coming, and they are going to come to you to try to fix it, to say in the name of the country. Then I said, well, let's go back to what the Senate just did. That would be the precedent for that now. Because if the Senate say, oh, the Minister of Public Works, rainy season was coming, and he had to go to the southeast, he had to do this, and so we let him do it. He will come and say, oh, the machine here now, so I pick you. No matter how we got it will face our role. So we should accept it. So it makes me feel sad, Tomalin, for my country. But I was talking to the House is going to be very robust. One of the things that I have decided, now that the 100 days over, is not to allow the country, the government, the executive, to misrule the country. And then will set up checkpoints. We will have impeachment proceedings for officials who misbehave, and if they cannot be punished, the House of Representatives. I really don't know what the Senate is up to, so I cannot speak for them. But we do have plans.
But Representative, let me interrupt you a little bit. What you saying? I mean, but you guys don't have to vote. You don't have not many people on the same page with you guys who would do it. I mean,
I don't think so. I think you're wrong. In the House, you don't need a two-thirds vote to impeach. I mean, you don't need a two-thirds vote to start an impeachment proceeding. And these things that are happening, the situation at the Ministry of Public Works, the House of Representatives is going to take it over. The thing that the Senate is doing there is an abdication of responsibility. It's not acceptable to us.
What you saying just now? Somebody just told me, say, what you saying? Your good friend Snow got in trouble for what you saying though. Snow threatening impeachment.
I don't care. You see,
so
the problem is.
I come in. So I mean, you think they will come after you? We have a very strong executive presidency. You know that. And the president said decide to turn on you. You think they will come after you or your business interest and thing? You think they will come after you in any kind of form and shape?
So what should I do? So what should I do now?
I ask you a question.
Tomalin, you know, I was listening to you guys last night.
Yeah.
And you guys were criticizing me. And I felt bad because I put myself in the position where you guys have to criticize me. And I don't think that you are happy criticizing me, but you have to. So is that where you want me to be now? Where I sit now as a lawmaker and allow people to violate our country and violate their offices, and for fear of being removed, their particular position here, the job, when the money come in my account, the same day it can go. I employ almost 60 people in my station, so I don't care. If they want to take it from me, let them take it from me. But I will do so fighting. The behavior of the Senate is not acceptable. And therefore, everything that they are reviewing over there will take it over and do it properly. If the minister of public works violated the law, he will be punished for it. He will look into the book. The punishment for that will meet it against him. We're not here to pardon people. That's not our job. Either the man did it or he didn't do it. How you can say you pardon a man? I mean,
if you pardon him now,
the question I'm asking, who you think you are? That is arrogant and disrespectful to the rule of law. And not only that, it's arrogant. You know, I want to use some words tonight, but I will keep it. Because at the end of the day, you behave as though that the government are your property. Because I will forgive the man. That your farm, that your inherited.
I understand.
The country is nobody's property. If somebody John does something to me, or right now, if you put maybe I can tell 2 them to cut you off in Ban, in Saglepe, and in Morovia. That is for me. I can do that. Liberia is not for me. So how the hell few senators sitting down there thinking that they have the right? And this is what they have done to this country.
Yeah.
And I was really offended by it. Yeah. And so we will take it up. In the lower house, everything that they have not done, we will do it. Look, there are a lot of violations. Number one, we have the Liberian law. And I say to Liberian people, there are issues of arrogance, disrespect, and narcissism. You have, and the Minister of Public Works is very well experienced. This is not a CDC government. 80% of the people in the CDC government were new to governance. 80% of the Unity Party people have 12 years experience in government. The people has laws that allows you to single source. You understand? Now, if you violate all of these laws, if you go and carry on process without the approval of the legislature, you violated the Constitution. You give a contract without a budget, you have no right to do that. And those senators and the so-called committee that they have to say that they are pardoned, they have no right to pardon. There's no, look, the thing about it is like a judge. The Supreme Court does not have pardon power. They carry you there, you're guilty or you're not guilty. They have no power. When the Supreme Court sentences you to 5 years in jail, the Supreme Court cannot reverse that decision. It cannot say, oh, we cancel the 5 years. No. This Constitution is very clear. Only the President of the Republic of Liberia can pardon after the legal process has been fully exhausted. So what they did is wrong. Several things going on in the country is not okay. The Unity Party guys, they are just on Facebook insulting people, and that's all they do. And they got all of these people just, being disrespectful to people, insulting people, and doing all kinds of. I don't have time for them. What I say is that look at President Bwaga. Look at what President Bwaga is doing to us. Is it fair? In his conscience, the reason why the Liberian people voted for him, 80% of the reason was that he has experience. That's one of the reasons why they voted for him. President Bwaga said, and I want his people to go listen to some of his interviews. He said that the country is not being run properly. When has he spoken to this country? When has he spoken to Liberia? The person who brought him to limelight and made him vice president for 12 years, when she was president, for a good part of 8 years, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf spoke to the Liberian people every month. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf spoke to the Liberian people. In fact, there was a program called Talk to the President. He will go in the studio and everybody will call from anywhere on any issue. Interact, nothing. Some of the officials President Bwaga has appointed, he has never met them.
Wow.
Nobody knows what is the president's position on almost all of the national issues because he has not spoken to anybody. To set up the rights committee is to condemn your Minister of Commerce.
Yep.
To set up a rights committee is to condemn your Minister of Commerce.
It's getting interesting.
At the end of the day, in my mind and in my thinking, the president, the government wants to succeed. If they want to succeed, let them do the right thing.
It's getting interesting.
The rice industry, there's only one Liberia. I want to ask the government of Liberia, from Joe Weirtown to Joseph Bokata, that one Liberian man that is in the business.
Who is
what
he?
Has the government Futa Corporation, Sherry Abdallah?
Oh, okay.
You know, the Clara Simpson or nephew. You know him?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. He's the only one.
Huge investment in Liberia. People don't know. This man has petroleum refinery. This man has brought into the country cement factory. He is the only Liberian in the how you call it rice industry. His name is on that list. Now the question is, what has the government done with him? What kind of relationship have they struck with him? You go sit down with him. He in some areas of his business, he must have been nothing but just every decision to just pull us under. So at the end of the day, my argument to myself and to all of us here tonight is that we gotta stand up.
Okay.
You're doing your part. We gotta do our part. I'm not afraid. If they remove me from here, it takes nothing from me. And you know what? They ain't able to move me.
Wow. It's interesting to
tell anybody.
Let me get it. Other guys.
You know, they ain't able. I'm not able to know. I came to this job prepared. I look at the ground. Some of you guys, you know, you're not born in the countryside, but you see the snake they call boa constrictor. Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Before the boa constrictor kills its prey, it makes sure the entire environment there are no ants, because the ants can kill that animal, that snake. So when it come and eat, when it swallow something, it can lay down there for days, weeks. So you gotta make sure that place said, I am prepared for this position. Cat will not do anything to me. Wow. And we will remove ministers from office. We will remove managing directors from office through the right that we have on the contract. We will not say it clear to me that the president is not going to do anything. What is hurting them is because we say that he's not doing his job. Look, the presidency is hard and the presidency is easy. Let him be active. His people have made all the appointment now, but let him take control. Look, I know Joseph Numa Boaka, and I know that he has a sense of what government is supposed to be. Let him do it.
Wow. Representative Musa Hassan Belete, the gloves are putting on the gloves. It's not getting easy now. I want to bring the other guys in. But guys, while I bring you guys in to weigh in, we'll start with Steve Scatterbo, Chuchu, Lofa, Peabody. The question is, we get information that the representative just confirmed to that these machines already on the ship. Somebody, I think Lofa, play that video.
I go there. Let Lofa play the audio.
I said it yesterday
because I'm not here. Let Steve go, and then I'll play the audio.
Yeah, the question is, so if it is on the ship already,
I said it yesterday.
The president already set up committee. Let's get it. What will be the action of what will be the action that should be taken? You think? Everybody wanted the machine to come, but the machine here you can't take it back. So what will happen? They never follow the right procedure. So what are we going to say? Steve.
So first of all, we're in a big trouble as a country. Let me put it that way. And if anyone thinks this is a joke, the men already set the precedent and they laid the groundworks for nothing to happen. Let me give you the typical example. The plenary decision to pardon or forgive Minister Goodings is a signal and a sign sent to the public. And I'm glad Chairman Representative Musa Belete is on and saying that the House will take on this situation. And the reason I'm saying we as a nation we're in a serious problem is because this is not only sending a red flag to our signals and our partners that are willing to help us or want to help this newly elected government, but this will put some serious strains on them. One of the problems President George Weah administration faced was they got involved with a bunch of shady people from the beginning. For example, the Ibomath and Eton Loan Group. That alone sent a red flag. It was a serious problem for them. They overlooked it, they downplayed it, but it became a problem. So I'm saying that whether the machine is on a ship or not, the guys who are from the rescue team in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, they will do anything they want to do. And this is the mission they are on. For the Minister of Public Works to be pardoned or forgiving, I even want to include Mo Ali. Mo Ali disrespected the PCC law. He needs to be held accountable as well. Mo Ali is part of it. He needs to be held accountable. And so when we want to get serious and do what is right, then I see the route Chairman Representative Musa Belete is taking. I think this is the route that needs to be taken. Because at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, I want to say the chairman Musa Belede that all of you in the government will hold all of you accountable. We'll bring all of you. So I'd rather someone be on record of seeking the truth, wanting the truth, accountability and transparency, then everybody say, you know, that. So, I mean, we are set up. Let me say this. This is a mess, and this is a problem. And I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised in the next few months a sanction follows this process. Because the people they're dealing with, they're shady characters for that whole mission business. And so, because of the sake of time, and other people got to speak as well, I just want to say we're in a serious quagmire and a serious problem. And this is even worse. I would say this is CDC 2.0, in my honest view. So we're in a serious problem. We must stand up. That is all I'll say.
Wow. Chuchu Jones, 1 minute quick. That was the one you had a video. That's 1 minute quick, guys. Chuchu, let's go 1 minute, please. You're muted.
Yeah, I won't be very long. Just wanted to direct a couple comments here. Representative Musa Belede, first of all, I want to thank you, and you're showing a lot of respect and leadership. Okay, two things you said. One of the things you said was, and I'm not a guy that praise government official a lot. I think you know that. So you're doing the right thing. You said leadership. I mean, in government leadership is very difficult. A lot of times people think it's easy. And secondly, you admitted to your mistake and asked the public for apology. That is very, very respectable. That is leadership. If President Barker would do something like this, it would show leadership. So part of the reason some of us don't have respect for government officials in Liberia is because even when they do wrong, they make a mistake. Instead of just coming out and admitting to it and say, I made a mistake, they would lie, they would twist it. So I commend you for that. And I support you to hold any government official accountable, impeach, including the president. That's your job. And we will be here to support you. So I just want to make that very clear. We will be here to support you so long as you follow the law and do your job. We and all the influence we can have will be there because that's what you went there for. And the same thing, if you make a mistake, we'll be there to point that out to you. So thank you. That's all the comment I will make at this point. But it's very courageous of you, and I applaud you, and all Liberians should look to you for leadership in our House of Representatives. Thank you.
Kelabo.
Yeah, I got a message for you. You remember I was just talking about a Liberian in the rice business, and Mr. Sherry Abdallah, and
Okay.
he heard you saying that you have an idea on what you think. So I will exchange his number to you. He wants to get in touch with you. So I just wanted to let you know. Yeah. He's listening to you, so he wants to get in touch with you.
Okay.
All right. Great show. I know 1 minute, but that is a little difficult. I just firstly want to acknowledge my representative, my brother, Musa Belede. Last night, Musa, you're right. I said on this show that it was pinning my heart to go publicly to criticize you because you and I have exchanged text messages on some of these issues. I've said to you, you're a leader. Those of us who grew up in the village and you have experience on the countryside, the quarter chiefs and the town chiefs sit together. The town chief allows each quarter chief to speak, and the town chief is the last. I know you guys are in modern day politics. So sometimes you want to just seize the opportunity to be the first. But on some matter, on some issues, I will still go by my position. Exercise caution, consult your team, consult your advisors. We are all available to talk to you, to tell you whatever we think in our mind is the best approach. And you speak, and you speak with credibility on many of these issues. We will not be where we are now, maybe if we have just taken one more day after that pronouncement to speak, because after one day, the whole thing started to unravel, so I will say that. But on the procurement issue, Peabody added to it. I hope you guys will be holistic so it can appear like the public works minister is being pointed out. Mo Ali, the deputy minister of finance, also did something that is unimaginable. You can't imagine. It's unimaginable. Imaginable. You can't imagine.
Who?
Bill McGee Jones. The procurement is suspended or probably dismissed. Procurement director, and their document trace to show that they were procuring services for $180,000, and he told him let's put it to $200,000, and the man refused. Yet he went to PPCC and got no objection for $200,000. It is an issue not from me. The Unity Party Youth Wing Chair held a press conference today on that matter. Unity Party herself is speaking. Okay? And I will say this. The opposition in the House, some of the opposition in the House today or in the legislature, they are underperforming compared to Darius DeLong in opposition during the CDC time. DeLong stood his ground. He never voted for many. He voted against everything. Okay? Today, CDC, some of the opposition members are, in fact, fighting to save Unity Party from herself. And that is shameful.
Well, yeah, let me comment. Chairman Billy, let me ask you this question. The chairman on Popular Works in the Senate, sanction Abachir. He didn't sanction. All right. DeLong, I understand what chairing yesterday. But it's not the issue yet. Let me ask you, are you going to ask for the Public Works Minister to be dismissed, or are you guys going to vote no comment?
No. First, we are going to review it. We cannot act. I think the Senate process is illegal. They have no pardon authority, and so they cannot pardon. Their oversight responsibility requires them to supervise the executive, call them to order, and if someone violates the Constitution.
Somebody load that radio, man.
For the Senate, they can go as far as issuing vote of no confidence in a government official. And when a government official has been voted, when a vote of confidence of no confidence cast in an official, that official is barred from using government money. More or less, the president will have no choice but to move you.
But Chairman, what more you guys need? The man went to the Senate. He admitted. Okay, that's a rare evidence right there. The Senate said we're voting, we're backing you guys, and all of that. So, what more evidence do you guys need to proceed?
We're two different bodies. We are going to go through the same process the Senate is going through. He cannot tell the Senate that he did it and tell us that he didn't do it. But he has to admit or deny in front of us, because at the end of the day, that is due process. If Peabody, if you say something to me, it's not in court. Either you can come in a court and say, I said it, or this, and we'll use the evidence from the Senate hearing on him to say you have admitted, you have done this, and with that, we have to take action. At the end of the day, you cannot run government like this to say sorry. But then it's hypocritical. You call it for war crime, good thing. You call it for all of these things. You say they must put sanction on people. But $20 million spent in 100 days. Do you have an appreciation of what that can do for this country? I use yellow machine, my brother. The real government had ordered some yellow machine there is a balance money to be paid. I think less than $4 million. And I'm told that those machines is between 75 to 100 machines. So why you can complete that? And you would have had 100 machines for your how you call it?
There's something not right.
100-day project.
Something not right.
Yeah, something not correct.
Something smelling.
So we're gonna go deeper into this. We're not gonna sit down for look. The Senate is the Senate, the House is the House. We are two different bodies. The Constitution gives us two separate. We have concurrent jurisdiction. But at the end of the day, where we are right now, I, as a member of the House of Representatives, I'm not satisfied with what they have done, and therefore I've already prepared a communication to be placed on the floor to open investigation into this matter.
Wow.
You need to do that, Chairman. You really need to do that because
it will be done.
This is embarrassing.
Judah play the Senate. Toga, weigh in quickly. You mute your Toga, weigh in quickly. You just get it.
You talking to me?
Yeah, right. Weigh in quickly before Judah play the stuff. Judah, bring it.
All right, well, let me weigh in before I play because I'm not using my time to play. But let me use this time to again acknowledge Representative Peabody for being courageous enough to apologize to Liberians. And I just don't want you to repeat Darius DeLong's style. Remember, Darius DeLong apologized numerous times to Liberians. And he will continue to apologize. And the reason why some of us were courageous enough to sit on this platform, something that you founded and that you own, is because it is upon all of us as Liberian to be courageous enough to hold our political leaders or our representatives accountable. While we are doing so, we should also remember you need our support. So if we hold you accountable to a specific standard, when you act, we should support you regardless of what it is. So the question that Tomalin asked as to whether you're not concerned they will come after you, the people should be ready to support you because you are doing it not because of your selfish interest, because you're going to say, hey, I'm not going to do it. I'll be like the rest of them, steal from the Liberian people, continue to enrich myself, and forget my responsibility. But instead, you said, I'm listening to the cries of the people, and I'm going to act upon that. So with that said, I want to say continue to fight. Some of us who are courageous enough to say it like it's, we will say it. Every time you go wrong, we will tell you on the ability you went wrong. And every time you do the right thing, we will applaud you for doing the right thing. Because that is what we want in Liberia. And that is the reason why some of us continue to come on these very platforms to hold these government officials. And like I said yesterday, and I have no regrets because they are thieves. And that's who they are. I'll play the audio after, just after saying that again. Thank you for being courageous enough. And let's continue to fight for Liberia together. Let me play it.
Christy, Ms. Aguirre, and myself attended a virtual turnover of 285 personal equipment.
But who's this?
A few weeks ago.
This is the what is going to Madame Peabody, the lady, Madame Peabody.
Minister of Portfolio.
Yeah, she's the one here talking. Can you guys hear it clear?
Yeah, please. We want to hear it.
All right.
Minister Christie, Ms. Aguirre, and myself attended a virtual turnover of 285 personal moving equipment a few weeks ago. The purpose of this equipment is to bring the president's vision of no car will get stuck in border life and bring back the maintenance zone. For those of us over 40, for those of us over 40, remember the maintenance zone when you used to have the public work yard. I remember the one in Kanta. You have the public work yard and they have all the equipment there. So when there are problems, the public work officials will go and public work engineers will go and fix it. So it's the president's vision that he wants to bring the maintenance zones back. So when we were younger in this country, people used to go to Maryland and come back, go to Sino and come back. We didn't have the problems we have today that people would be on the road for 1 week. It's because the maintenance zones were in place. So the plan is to have 19 pieces of earth moving equipment in each county. We did the calculation. We did this calculation with the help of the meetings of public works, and we came up with a 285 earth moving equipment, not only to make the roads applicable, but also to construct road and bridges. So every county will have their own equipment. For the first time since the 1980s, the government of Liberia will own the road maintenance equipment under the special presidential projects. In the coming weeks, we will work with the Ministry of Public Works and the Ministry of Defense to come up with a work plan on how we are going to build these maintenance zones. You may wonder why I mentioned the Ministry of Defense. The president's plan is he wants to reactivate, he wants to bring the engineering department of the military back to help with maintenance of the road. The public works ministry is already using them, but they will be an important component of this implementation phase. So I want to thank you, Mr. President. We haven't seen this. I was really young, but to be able to participate in this, I think it's a blessing. And for us to be able to fix our roads ourselves without waiting for anybody else, this is the true definition of no car will get stuck in the mud. So I'm just going to play a short video of how of the virtual.
All right, so the rest of it is the video, even though we have the audio, but I think it took a little bit longer. But of course, she admitted to the fact that and then she even
guys, here's what happened though. The first thing,
let me add.
Let me draw the the first thing they said that the president was not aware of this.
Exactly.
Representation from the president. I mean, he's in the know of it. When they asked the Minister of Public Works, he said he was not. He referred the senator to the Minister of State, but in his audio, this lady is saying that she called the Public Works Minister and Minister of State. They know of it. Now
They were consulting. They were in consultation.
Tomalin, you are not stating it correctly.
She
said the Minister of
Public let him land. Let the man land.
Yeah. So now you come in. So now it is clear that
question about the Minister of Public Works. You got some personal issue with the Minister of Public Works.
They all know of what's happening. It is clear that the machines are already bound for Liberia. So the question is, and the president then the Minister of Information came to the nation and said that there have been no deal, nothing, they're just showcasing this thing. So now, what should happen right now? Because some actions should be taken by now. Somebody should be held accountable for what's happening now. So Kelebo, we'll start with you. We'll give you 2 minutes to weigh into this so we can get this thing going. Let's hear from you, please. 2 minutes. Lofa, please monitor our time, please. We beg you.
Well, firstly, before I go on anything, I want to say I sent 2 audios. The other audio, did you listen to it, Lofa?
No.
Okay, the other audio is actually President Bouaka accepting the machine and admitting that, in fact, they decided to put his pictures on the machine. He told them they should put Ting, Love, and Build like this. So that's why it's been printed on each of the machine. Play that.
So he's aware.
He's aware. Play.
All right, I'll play that. Okay.
Wow. The great bungalow.
We can talk about agriculture all day. Then you get to get there. You have to be able to go there acceptable. These machines, they even proposed when I had to put my photo on there. I said, no, you put that thing Liberia, love Liberia.
There's breaking news. There's breaking news. It's breaking news.
That's it right there. Call it right
That's breaking
there.
news.
Yep, he admitted. He said they wanted him to put his photo on there, but he said put things like Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia.
Does it sound like somebody we didn't know about it?
Who is not in the know?
Yesterday on this show, I told you when you work with your boss, I work with Samuel Kofi Woods, and other ministers. Listen, you go to your boss every week and give your itinerary what you're going to do, and you give them briefing. Minister Kaba, Minister Ability was not doing this thing in isolation without the president's knowledge. She was briefing the president. Even that's her mission right here. What the president said, they decided to put my photos. I said no. You should put there thing love and build Liberia, right?
Yes.
That's my evidence right there. In his own words, not my word. Okay? So, guys, this issue is deep than you think it is. This country, like I said on my Facebook page, and the Unity Party people are coming after me, this is a state capture. Go check out the definition of what state capture is. Private sectors have bought our government. They are controlling it. The evidence is senators who are business people see how they're behaving with the public works minister. That's how state capture works. When private owners control government policy and they decide to run how public policy should be formulated, this is a classic example. The state has been captured by the corrupt oligarchy. And that's what it is. Liberia is controlled now by the corruption cartel. And that's the evidence right here. It has entered the presidency.
That's breaking news.
Thank you.
Everybody's saying that. Everybody going around saying that. Oh no, he didn't know about it. They made it. I mean, the lie just circulate back and forth. The lie circulating back and forth.
That the people.
But then I don't think they did him right though. I mean, when he came up and the way he spoke at the press briefing, as if the government is not aware, no deal has been communicated, nothing at the time. It's just all these things. It's a proposal that's coming to the country. So right now the government is having credibility issue, and the president must speak. And we call on President Boga to address this issue. No time to waste. President Boga, we call on to address the issue because it's on your watch. You cannot keep on sending your minister of information, your press secretary to come and address this issue. It's about time the president speak, break a silence on all these things. He must address the country on this issue.
Before Chairman, I have one more audio, but it's been edited, and I will share it. And that audio is a bonus. It's gonna come.
Thank you.
I have a communication also a letter. I have a letter that is gonna come in our chat room.
Thank you. On a serious note, this time around, before Chairman Benedict come in, I just want to, because I was in and out and what, let me say sorry, but let me say to Mr. Gonglo on a quite frank note here that I respect what he just did, and that's part of the process. Some of us that work with the anti-graft institution before, those kind of high evidence in terms of it kind of validate your quest to talk about something. It gives you the cloud basically. So I think, and I agree with him on that. Our leader and chairman, the forever living chairman, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, one of the basic process for me, I would think, is because if the Minister of Information, Mika Boss, would come up and see these things about what is currently unfolding in the country, and he don't have any clue whatsoever that the president himself said that they should not put his name on this, but they should put Think and Love and Build Liberia. I mean, the government's in the know, because the chief policy architect of the republic and the chief superintendent of our country is the president of the Republic of Liberia. And he is the only person that got the mindset that he's the only person that generates policy.
There's nobody, even the executive law of the Republic of Liberia, the 1972 Executive Act is clear that the president is the chief generator of our policy process. The ministers in order are just exonerate to the presidency. They will go and move to implement these things. So if the president of the Republic is coming out to say his name should not be printed on it, he won't think and bill or parcel whatsoever put to Liberia, that means the president is in the know of this process. And then if the makeup buff, the Minister of Information is saying he different thing. Also, what was contradicting what the president contradicting what the minister is saying, we headed for some problem. But I think I will believe that the government now should come up and just pronounce the people of Liberia. And I will also crave the indulgence of our chairman and the honorable man here, Mr. Ability, to use some of his top lines of engagement in our legislature to inform the Liberian people. And Mr. Ability himself, before even now, he set a platform out there that is a conduit by which most of our folks in our country being informed. They are seeing. So I mean, the Truth FM been very strategic in playing role in our democracy. Democracy is about information. So part of the democratization process was from that line of informing the people of this country. Now he's into politics himself, a businessman, a politician, and will play a major role also informing our people. It's important that we get information about this issue about the yellow machine. We are afraid. We're hearing that most of those that are behind the yellow machine, these are drug law, these are corrupt individuals from other areas. So we want to get the real picture of the situation here. But what we're hearing from now, I will be one person, an individual that will say, hey, it's scary that we need some very deeper clarification here. We should leave the political shenanigans, all of the thing we do outside of politics. This is a real issue that we have to focus on, Ms. Ability, and we look forward to people like you to be the elder in the house to come and advise and guide the people of Liberia.
I think based on the information that is coming, I think there's clearly, we had, as I speak to you, I've been drafting a letter which will be read on the floor on Tuesday for a full-scale investigation. The reason why that has become necessary is because we are getting conflicting information, and one of the reasons why I'm concerned, I'm not concerned about what the Minister of Information said. Chief, the job of the information minister is to the extent of the information they give him. He's not going to create news. If they give it to him, that's what he will report. That's as simple as ABC. But what the fear that I have is that, number one, there seems to be a backtrack on this thing. Number two, could this be a quick pro quo, which will endanger Liberia resources? Number three, could it be money laundering, which will put us in babel with the international community? To sit down and say the president must talk is to assume that if the president talk, whatever he say, we accept the result. The House has a responsibility outside of the duty of the president. And that responsibility is and we have reason now to because there are too many information out there. So we have reason now to investigate and to find out that all of these things that are going on, what is happening, and bring people to come and take testimony, to take a testimony from them, and then come up with funding as to what has happened. Has the Constitution of Liberia been violated here? We don't know. But if that's the case, then we need to take the appropriate action. Have people violated their code of office? We don't know. We're hearing that all of these things. And it appears to me that the minister is being put under the bus unnecessarily, because when she was speaking, everybody who is saying now today that they don't know about it, they were present. And none of them say, but the thing you're talking here, nobody know about it.
Musa, they were clapping. On the road, they were clapping.
Everybody was clapping. All of a sudden now, you want to pull back and put her under the bus. So the Minister of Public Works say he doesn't know, according to news. She said he aided in designing the distributed method. You understand? The Minister of State, I don't know what he has said, but so far I've not heard anything from him. The president has been silent on it. The cabinet retreat said something, and then so the government we're trying to bring. When I hear people say government, the government is not the executive. We all are part of the government. So we'll do our job. We'll go and find out what is the situation. We'll investigate and we'll come with funding and we'll take appropriate action after the funding.
Yeah, on the road, let me add this to you quickly. I will help you quickly. I will help you with some information. Look, the real thing you're suspecting, there is truth to that. In fact, I'm expecting a communication linking a big player in the mining sector with this whole deal. I mean, this is far bigger than your thing.
HPS.
Dr. Peabody, can I come in now?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, and good evening to Chairmanability, and greetings to everybody. I've been following while en route to my home. I mean, we've said this time immemorial about some of the inconsistencies, and I think the entire cabinet has now been subjugated to the Ministry of State. I think it's one of the first times in the history of the country that you have the entire cabinet running from the Ministry of State, with more than 5 or 6 ministers right around that Ministry of State. I think it's one of the largest we've had. And it's very troubling. Yeah, it's very troubling. The lies, the deception, the misinformation, the lack of consistency is glaring. It's becoming a problem. I said it even about the rest issue. The same way Chairmanability said they just tried to put certain people under the bus, and that's what's happening. Because take, for example, the Minister of Commerce, like I said on the show the other day, drove from the executive mansion before the press conference, before that decision was overturned by the president. The president was in the know that the Minister of Commerce was going to stage a press conference and what he was exactly going to say because he drove from there. The same thing with this situation. The same thing with this situation. And interestingly, see what's happening again. I know tomorrow the legislature, especially the House of Representatives, is expected, to have the Minister of Commerce. Interestingly, the Minister of Commerce snubbed the House of Representatives on Tuesday. And what do I say so? The minister was in country, and the minister sent a letter to the House of Representatives saying he had traveled out of the country. And the minister was in country. On that basis, there was a contempt. The legislature needs to put her feet on the ground because these things are glaring. In fact, it's my understanding that Tuesday, the minister visited 1 or 2 government agencies. The minister who wrote the House of Representatives that he had traveled. There's a high possibility he will pass through the House of Representatives tomorrow, and practically nothing will happen. When you put people under contempt, it's one of the highest levels of the legislature. It means that person who is coming must bear some consequences for their action. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. And this is becoming an issue. So similarly, this entire thing, and what's going to happen, the executive is going to start spinning this thing against legislators. I'm understanding they are about to begin visiting your different districts And the message will be, we're supposed to fix your role, but the legislators are raising XYZ issues so your roles cannot be fixed. And the ordinary people in the different districts are not going to understand that, look, we need to ask some questions. Who's providing 52 million? And the government PR arm is completely weak. You can't have everybody talking in the government. It's the same problem that people have even with the CDC. From the very inception of the CDC government, everybody was talking. And it was the same Unity Party people who said they had all the experiences and they would do it differently. You got somebody way at the National Port Authority that got nothing, absolutely nothing to do with a subject. He connected to public well whatsoever, but he's the one announcing that it's a $52 million deal. Nobody has asked him. Nobody has summoned him. He's answered no question. I think Mr. Gonklo was talking, and just before I end on this matter, you were talking about some big power play. And what I'm even gathering, and I think today, front page try to touch it later, is that this same HPX and method is still into play. It is my understanding that HPX, knowing fully well the laws of the United States and not to interfere with our governance process, is providing this 52 million through this South African guy. So, like Chairman Ability talk about money laundering, it could be true. You want to clean your money out, so you pass it through a South African who knows that there is no law banning him to do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't care. There's no system in his country whatsoever. So he acting like he's the big player, and they're pumping the money through him because there is going to be, in the not too distant future, a big competition between the same metal steel and that of HPS. It's still an issue. The metal steel and HPS thing is not going to end anytime soon. It's still an issue because they really want to use the railroad. In fact, my understanding, the Guineans are putting them under pressure to start moving their own out. If not, it's a military regime. If not, it's going to move them out. So they want to hastily move to Liberia. Now, simply you just had a budgetary period, so why you could not put it under the budget? So that it be open. The budget is an open process. I mean, you complain about the CDC all along, but I think HPS contributed some 30 to 35 million, the former finance minister, said that, to the last budget. It was in the budget. So if HPS wants to give the country $52 million, you don't need to be passing it through all sort of unorthodox means. Put it through the budget process so it can be an open process. At least you'll be improving on the budget and say, look, we now at 700, 750. We're taking the budget for the first time. It will be morale even for the government. Why do you want to do shady things? So I just wanted to pass this on with some of these information. And I wanted to also know from Chairman Ability what sort of decisive position, because what is going to happen tomorrow on Capitol Hill will tie in with people who will be coming up to Capitol Hill and taking you people seriously. You cannot have a minister in the country and writing you that he has been out of the country, and so you must excuse him. When we begin to take these drastic measures, people will start managing their steps as we go forward. Thank you.
But Chairman Bill, comment.
Better, without repeating everything that you said, I'm currently out of the country. I will not be in session tomorrow. So let me not prejudice it, but they calling the minister to come and he showed different time. The way the system works, that's normal. For me, that coming and not coming, that's not a main issue. If we are in session, so every Tuesday and Thursday we'll be there. If you can't make it Tuesday, we'll receive you Thursday. You understand? If you can't make it on Thursday, we'll receive you on Tuesday. But I think the procedure is that if we say Biere come, you do have the right to ask for excuse and ask for reschedule. And that's why I'm so happy. Now, I didn't follow session yesterday because I was very busy in the meeting all day. But I'm hearing that they were supposed to call the minister for contempt hearing. Now, if they call you for contempt hearing, that means you're not going to hear a main issue. You understand? You are coming to answer why you should not be here in contempt. And if they hold you in contempt, you probably go to jail or you get fined. So tomorrow, if they hear it, and I don't know how final, if the hearing with the minister tomorrow is contempt hearing, I mean the main issue will not be discussed. The issue will be why you told us that you are not here and you are here. And most likely, that one is difficult to catch someone on. So he will probably pass that. The main issue is what he will call for should be investigated. And hopefully, I don't know. I don't want to speak on it, honestly. I don't know why he was called, so I want to leave it at that. But, there, where we are now as a country, and I told some people, every time I hear Tomalin and Lofa there talking about America, it can help me because I love America. I love American democracy. We're benefiting from them. We're doing it, but they don't run our country for us. To say now that if America does not act, we will not act, it's a shame. And I don't subscribe to that. Joseph Boaga does not have to wait for sanction in order to do the right thing in his government. He has been hired to do the right thing. So, the Americans, for me, they're always telling us in private meeting that it's up to us. And I think that they're being fair to us. America will not be more Liberian than Liberian themselves. So we need to buckle up. And and I said to everybody, even on this network, that 100 days were not enough to grade Joseph Boaga. For me, 100 days finished. Now, the government pays the honor. We do our work with no fear. The means of public work will be investigated based on conflicting report on the yellow machine and the allegation that it is tied to our natural resources. We investigate it. We investigate it. For somebody to put yellow machine on the ship and bring it and say, "Oh, let's leave it a year now," I would never be part of that. I'm telling you now, for the record, I would never be part of that. It's either the Minister of State over portfolio was saying the truth and the rest of the people were being dishonest, or the rest of the people were saying the truth and she would be dishonest. But we'll not take both. And based on the information that has just been, the evidences that are just being adduced, I am more inclined to believe that the information that she was giving was true. Because she gave the information before the president was sitting down there. She gave the information, the Minister of State was there, the Minister of Public Works, they were all clapping. When it started backfiring, then they started backpedaling. Okay, it doesn't work like that. And a lack of communication strategy. So I am told, and I heard you talking about the information arm of government. The thing is very simple. The Ministry of Information, if you're not getting the resources they need to work, they can work. So to have them there, just sitting down there and be talking, hey, what have you given them in terms of resources? What information are you giving them? Is this how government will make the kind of important announcement? Is that how the government will make it? Did they check to find out that this thing requires further approval from the House? This president, the legislator has been 100% cooperative with him. He brought 2 financial instruments. We passed it, no question. So there was no reason to do it otherwise, unless there are other factors, which includes this HPS thing. If HPS want to bring the road from Guinea into parts of our country, it's good for our country. But if HPS want to bring the road to our country and the benefit go into individual pocket, which all of this is suggesting, it's not acceptable. Because it's a good thing. We will say there are 4 or 5 countries that have been passing. Would they build all the technical university? Give us this, give us this. Yes, the yellow mission. We could even just we have received, I think, 30,000 from these same people. So you could have openly called the speaker, called the pro tem, called the leadership of the house and say, look, these are the people who want to use our country, our land to pass. And so, they got something for us. Here is it. We want to put in the budget as a grant, or we want to make a pronouncement with your full knowledge. Both the speaker and the pro tem will come to the legislature and meet us in leadership. So tomorrow, when something like that happens, we'll say, we're aware. But these people, they have no respect for the dead. But we'll make them to be respectful. We'll make them. People will be impeached. I'm telling you now that ministers will be removed from office in the government.
Because Front Page Africa is reporting today that the investigation uncovered that the 285 yellow machine gift was part of a deal to award South Africa-based Goodman Group mining concession right. That's what Front Page Africa is reporting. They had just uncovered that deal is more like a bonus or something that had been given to them to gain concession right. I think
we so swap.
Yeah, is the Goodman Group tied to HPS? No, we need to gather here first and foremost, because one of the major things here is unfortunate because HPS some push a time ago, and that's one of the institutions that really pushed for the former finance minister to get sanctioned. Right? They lobby it significantly. They lobby in Washington D.C. significantly to ensure that the former finance minister is sanctioned.
You eat HPS money, you will go.
Yeah. So that's the problem. So if they are now trying to, because we want to avoid penalty from the
take HPS money,
they want to. They now want to use a South African institution that would not be.
We want to play with the big balls.
So there's a need to re-edit. That the Peabody there's a need to re-edit, investigate this process, because HPS is the one giving the money to this South African.
It is our responsibility. The law, the Constitution provide that is related to the legislature. And we are not going to be involved in pardoning. I think the other people doing on the other side with pardoning, we are not going to be involved.
Mr. Bede, you got
involved in violating the Constitution. We'll remove you from office. We'll impeach you.
Yeah, it's Article 34 give you that power. Article 34 exclusively give you that power to do your work. So you need to do that.
I can say this to you. I can say this to you for a fact. I think I shared some document in a timeline in the chat room. People, you should read the timeline. And I also posted a timeline on here, and I will share the rest of the other document. I have at least about 10 or 12 different documents on here that really, if you read through it, right, and you just dissect it, you will see where the connection plays in here. Look, we are in the most dangerous situation that Liberia probably will ever face. These group of corrupt individuals that we have literally we brought upon ourselves, and we will regret this decision because, like we said continuously, and I continue to remind people of some of the things we said. The decision to bring these guys to power, they did not believe in the idea of change. They were all seeking chances. Chances was the idea, but they used it. And they were smart enough. Well, they won't even be smart, but they had that sinister motive. So they said they were seeking change. Read the document that I shared and tell me whether these guys had any good ground for which they were bringing anything. And that's the reason why when Professor Larry asked the public work minister about job creation, or public work minister, all right, who supposedly comes from a background of economics, could not tell the public how we were creating jobs, how it benefit us, and why is it that it was important for us to really get into all of these different contracts that were being given out. It is alarming for us to find ourselves in these situations, not once, not twice, but continuously. And representability. The reason why I said the United States may have to act is because people like yourself, your hands are tied to some extent. You will want to fight, but the corrupt few that are in the house, or majority, not few, but majority that are in the house, will do everything possible to stand in your way. So at this point, it's almost like a child with the parents, and the parents are not doing due diligence.
Lofa, just for your information, Lofa, the house is firm. I can tell you that.
So when you guys actually take
the majority in there will stand for Liberia. Take it from me.
Okay.
I'm not saying it because
we look to see actions so that we can applaud you guys. But you know the Senate. Let's take the calls. Let Dr. Peabody. We can take the calls.
Let's look, guys. We're running against time, so
yeah, let's take some calls.
We'll take some call or Chairmanability. You want to stay on, or you want to get a closing? It's fine with you. I know you out of the country.
Yeah. So no, I just let me close so that you can. But most importantly, guys, I want to say thank you, and to also let you know that I will be more frequent on the network so that I can be able to answer as many questions as I can. For us to. Secondly, Honorable Konglo, thank you. Your information was quite eye-opening today. Please give me as much as you can give me. This weekend, in the next 2 weeks, we are launching 2 major programs in our district, the agriculture program to feed our district, and also we are launching a $2.5 million portrait farm in District 7, where people will be employed, and we are hiring. United States dollars to set up a portrait farm. We just started the process today. Hopefully, within the next 6 months, that will come to light. And the cassava factory is on. This is to find employment for our people. And this week, the team is already in Nimba, the 48th town in our district. We are engaging them to make farm this year for themselves. We're not doing that. Each town must produce at least half of the rice they are eating. And we will give them everything they need to be able to make that farm. So that next year, instead of if they buy 300 bags, I want them to only be able to buy 150. So that the other 150 money, they can use it for something else. And also bring the pressure down on the our Liberian dollar. It give it more value. So we are doing that at our county level. So all those people who say they coming behind us, there's iron gate in our district because we are looking after our people. But as we look after our people, we'll come after you. You can put your sort of get into the way I see it. As we begin to find out, I'm about to activate my cyber force. So we're ready for a fight. You bring it to me, I bring it to you. But Liberia will not be compromised to deals that will endanger the future of our country. And these are the kind of things that can cause rebellion. These are the kind of things that can cause uprising. Because every day in Nimba County, our people are seeing millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars all coming from under our ground, living and passing right in front of us, getting in the ship and going nothing in Nimba County to show that that's the country that the thing coming from. Now again, you want to build road. We want that road. We want the SPS road. It's good for Liberia. And we want to use it for other commercial purposes to deliver goods and services across the country. That's good. But the benefit must not go to individual pockets. The shady manner in which they want to do it will not allow it to happen. We'll stop it. It is a shame, a big shame, that a government of 3 to 4 months old is having so much noise about corruption. Whether it's true or not, it's just too much. And they got to do something. And when you talk, they want to be able to say they just cost you. They want to get, I mean, I'm like, don't be petty. Joseph Boakai is president. Yeah, Joseph Boakai is president. I'm not president. I'm representative. He said you are going to do this. He said you want to think Liberia, build Liberia. And what they say?
Yes.
Think Liberia, build Liberia. My question to President Boakai, to the Mo Ali, to all the Boakai Jaliba, all the so-called freedom fighters from United Party. Those 3 things that you're saying, can you sit in good conscience today that any one of them is being implemented as you expanded on it? If you go home, when you're eating that chicken, when you're eating that meat, when you're eating all the things that you not used to eat, you're sitting down now. Are you?
I like that.
Can you?
Is that question for more Ali and Bracket?
Labra has become animal farm. Animal farm.
Mr. Billy, the intent was not to answer the question. The intent was to eat the chicken and the meat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The intent of the advocacy was not basically to transform anything. So let
the president think. I want him.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke to President Boakai. One thing I can tell anybody is that President Boakai has a vision of what he wants Liberia to be. And at this point in time, I want to ask him, is this what he wants? Is this the interpretation of his vision? Or is it that he has not started? And if he has not started, when is he starting? When is it? The people finish forcing him to appoint all the people. That's okay. When are you going to take charge of your government and start running it? So that every minister will not be law unto themselves. If you get a minister of commerce, you go find a committee, you have literally disabled a man. If you go for agriculture, funding committee, funding your old friend job, say you funding committee. I look at that committee today, besides Sherry Abdallah, who else there got anything to do with the rice business? Okay, gentlemen, I have to go to bed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Ability. Have a good night and looking forward to seeing you back here.
Have a good one, Mr. Ability.
Thank you.
Okay. Guys, we're going to take at least 4 or 5 calls and then we go for 1 minute each and call it a day. The time is late now. So let's take some call, Henry, if you guys can. And then we'll do our closing. Nobody will run away. We're all here. We'll do our closing. Nobody more. All right.
Yeah, I'm almost trying to run over because I got something quick to run to. So go ahead.
Well said, Honorable Musa Hassan Ability. Musa Ability was very vocal and straight to the point tonight. Very, very. Henry, let's do four calls, man, and then we can
635 0777 017 635 are the numbers for you to call us on the closing argument here tonight. 017 we have a call there.
You start again.
Go ahead. Can you please be audible, please? Go ahead, Joseph. Okay, I hope, guys, are you getting the caller?
A little bit, but not too long.
Are you getting him?
A little bit.
All right, so 077 017 635, the numbers for you to call Please be audible. 0777 017 635. You are live. Go ahead. Okay, let's hear you. Thank you. 0777 017 365. Go ahead, you're live. Yes, sir. Okay. The yellow machine now what? Oh, yellow machine now, baby. Okay. All right. Let's just hold. The next caller. Do we have a caller?
Let's do 2 more, then we go.
Okay. You got this one. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, my name is George. George was a call from Denver.
Okay.
Yeah. Really, it's actually interesting. And the last part that the old man, people should post think love and be like you're on the machine, not, other things. Shows that the woman is in the know. But what I do want to think is that there must be some, blackmailing, some actions that are not right. Because they are things and women or just talk so that they are using as a signal. So really, when you look at everything that is happening in the country, it shows that something has been actually was not. It just shows the ability of human beings to properly control, group of people.
Okay. Okay, so let's pick up one more. Then we'll get back to Peabody, the rest of for the guys. Go ahead. Can you please walk away from your monitor, Heron? Go ahead. We're still getting feedback. Oh. Yeah, we can hold you on. Yeah, the feedback is not good for us here in studio, so we're going to cross over. Let's get back to the panelists. Peabody,
All right,
I think you guys get to call us.
Let's keep it going.
Can I do my stuff?
You want to do your closing? So guys,
yeah.
Sylvester got it wrong. So let's thank you. Toga will be fair. Maybe less on 1 minute. So I'll be, yeah, thank you. So I think it's important. And Mr. Benedict struck something just like that. Now we're just having conversation today with someone about this process. And I mean, it's key here. If we were on the pace yesterday, talking about transparency, change, and the rest of that, we need to replicate those kind of a thing in terms of our behavior. Our actions should now take those things that we said yesterday. It's important, and that's what I call it on most of those folks. But I believe clearly, and the person said to me, this is just about the issue, but we need to, I said to them, no, we need to change that perspective about Liberia. We need to do things to change the mindset of our people, and that's what I said before. And I told folks, I said, we need to drive sometime from Monrovia to Lofa on the weekend, as we can drive from Monrovia to Buchanan. Right? Most of the time when we're in the country, we want to move over to Buchanan and other things. We have to start the process of doing, we need moving equipment. It's important that we need those equipment, but we need to get those things in a more legitimate way that will say to the people of Liberia, we're doing these things in the way and manner we should do them. And I'm calling on SPS today because they spoke all the time. They were tough. They did things to push other people to be sanctioned today. To be very clear, they are behind this process because HPS will never certify this issue with ArcelorMittal. They want to get the all exclusive right on the railway and the rest of that. We need to go more deeper into this process to uncover most of those shitty deeds that are there and anything that is sinister. All of the sinister deeds, we need to unearth them and make sure that the rainbow should benefit in a more legit manner. It's important that we all speak Liberia and project the image of our country. It's important. Real thing. I hope these machines are not tied to work with the mountain. Lofa are going to get behind them. Lofa, I hope you will not sit here and let anybody take over work in that weird manner. No, I hope
never.
On a more serious note, we need to protect the process. We agree World Mountain is not going to be a shrine. It's going to, we have to invest. It has to be something that will project the country moving forward, but we have to do it in the way and manner that the people will benefit from. Thank you guys, and have a very wonderful evening. Looking forward to meeting us again tomorrow. Thank you.
Me too. Where is did he leave? Did Toga leave? And then Kelabu, give your closing, and then Alex, and then I will, and Julius will close us.
All right, go show. Just few quick comments here. One, I read the link Lofa put in the chat room. Lofa, that's a good background information. But I'll tell you this much. You see, there's something wrong with Liberian politicians, with Liberian leaders. I don't understand that. In 2000, I believe 2010, there was this talk about Vale. Vale is a Brazilian mining company.
Mm-hmm.
Vale actually came to Liberia and offered to solve the electricity problem and build a new big port in Buchanan. What was the reason? Vale had the same contract that HPS has now. And that's what the Guineans have been doing. They gave Vale 2 years. Actually, it was an Israeli mining company called BSGR, Billistown Group of Company. It's a Jewish billionaire. He even came to Liberia and met President Salih. So the government put a committee together, headed by the National Investment Commission with Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy, to negotiate with the Guinean government. So the old in a part of Guinea closer to Liberia, they call it Samadou 1 and Samadou 2. I was working in government, I was on that committee. So I was secretary to the committee. So I pretty much had good documentation still on some of my drafts on this because I sat in different meetings. For some reason, those big people who were involved in going to Guinea and what have you, they screwed up. That's all I can say. I can't give much detail on some of the things I know and I heard. But here is the truth. We don't have the mines in Guinea. If they pass it through Liberia, we'll benefit small. But our people want to benefit equal to Guinea. That's stupidity. They brought in European lawyers and said, look, in Europe, Europe is connected. If the other European country has something to transshipment, you pay something, you pass through the other country. Let's do the same agreement with Liberia for transshipment concession. They ship through your port, they come, they pay whatever export duty to you, whatever environmental law, will respect everything, will do that. Liberian government wants to make it like they are negotiating MDA for the mine in Liberia. They don't understand that. Liberia lost that opportunity. What the Guinean government do, they give the company 2 years. That within 2 years, if you don't start to lift oil from Guinea to Liberia, we cancel the contract. They cancel that. And this HPS group, they took over. They too have the same limit to also do liftment. And Liberia is the key to that. If our people can be smart, it will create short-term jobs because to build a new railroad to connect the Senegole, it's been to Senegole around where I can imagine now, near St. Mary's campus, beyond there is the station where the train track connect. Is where the track from Guinea will connect. And that's a virgin road. They're going to bridge, they're going to build, they're going to have short-term labor. I mean, I was involved in this. And they're going to build the tail track from there to Buchanan and even enlarging the port because Mittal will be using it and they will be using it. This is something the government can seize on. They don't want to do it. And this time, they got to be careful because the head for HPX is a former U.S. Congresswoman. That's what makes them powerful. They are heavily connected in D.C. Okay? So I hope this will work. And there are a lot of things we said tonight. I'm fired up. I listen to Honorability, and I think I'm fired up. Musa is a genius. I always tell that guy, to succeed in business the way he has succeeded, you have to be a genius. Musa Ability is a genius in terms of strategy. If he's taking the fight, let's watch out. More news to come. I'll stop there.
Okay, tour guide, since you back, go ahead.
Yes. So you can see clearly some of the troubles we have with electricity and all of that. So as we speak, I have to switch to solar. So that tells you we almost use electricity like just between 12 to 15 hours a day. And that's very troubling, but that's the country. But you see, like Mr. Gonklo said, now, it's a very difficult situation, more than it is said. The issue is Metal has a concession agreement with the country. Metal has some rights, and Metal is not prepared to give up any of those rights. That's what the fight is coming. Like, for example, using the railroad along with other, or for example, using the post along with other, that has been a controversial issue over time that has not been sorted out. It still is. That's what the sticky issue is. And if you cannot sit with Metal and you think because you just have a government, and because you have a government, you can get anything as you wish at the detriment of another company that has up to 800 plus million in your country, it's not going to just happen like that. Then I think the sanction or whatever will come from double folds because all these companies can lobby. And the way the whole sanction been going now, it's almost like on a lobbying basis now. It's beyond just what the partners see here. It's more like just a lobbying. So anybody who has a bigger chunk, a bigger investment, a bigger resource can lobby for it to get on anybody here. And they know it because they see people in the government today where they see people lobbying for other people. It is still possible that other people will lobby for you to get on there as well. I think it's different from the United Nations sanction where they saw bluntly what you are into it. But for HPS to come and think that because they invested the money they did not get, they go and lobby for sanction on other people, I think that was even wrong. And it's still going to happen because we've made the whole sanction thing to look like a lobbying thing more than if you were actually involved with something. The last thing I wanted to say beyond all these things, because I guess some of the people in the government might be listening. The issue that is happening at the EPS is very concerning. Over 300 to 400 people lost their jobs. Immediately the government came into being. If you want to terminate people's contract, you must be ready to also give them the money that they deserve. These are people that run their families. These are arm-carrying people. I think one time we discussed that here lengthily with one guy standing in the studio, you remember, and saying he had gun on his side. You know, I passed to some places before getting home, and I know why I'm talking. These guys are very disturbed, and it's very concerning. You cannot get 200 to 300, 400 armed personnel who work for the EPS. You dismiss all of them, and you leave them to the way to go. They got their families. The government, since the budget has passed, I will encourage the actors of the government to find the resources for these guys and pay them off as the law requires. You can't get rid of people and leave them to the wind. These are people well trained in carrying guns, and you cannot overlook them. I hope this serves as an information. It is not just ordinary civil service. Like you can just wake up in the morning like you did to Ministry of State, like you did to other places, you just dismiss them and you think nothing will come out of it. We cannot be wasting this country the way they're doing. It must stop. You took these people out of their job, you took food from their mouths, you took them off supporting their family and all of that. Please take care of what's due them. praying that the government will listen to this and will begin acting very soon. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, I think I can go. Look, I think Liberia has just become a stock market for these mining companies, where they just come to the country, they pay a few dollars to government official, they do whatever they want, they take millions of dollars out of the country right in front of the people. And I think it's time for this to be stopped. Whether you U.S. company, you South African company, you must abide by the laws of the country. And that's why I like the stand that our mobility took tonight. And I think we all should rally around him. You know, I'm very clear. I'm not political in the sense where I'm loyal to any party or anybody. I will work with anybody who wants to do the right thing for the people of Liberia, for us all to be able to return, build our country, and enjoy it like any other country. But what I think Honorable Billy needs to do more is he needs to reach out to capable people to help his office, to start to put some of these people in contempt, put somebody, the first minister that will go to jail, for lying. When a president gets on a private jet that costs $10,000 an hour, and you say that money was, that's a loan, a crime has been committed. And whoever committed that crime, they need to pay the price. They need to come and tell us if a mining company does not sign an official agreement but goes to give the government money or trips or something, that is a crime. That is corruption. What is, I'm reading here XPX, right, which is a U.S. company with 650 million tons that they want to transport to Liberia. Yes, the own statement saying the recent election in Liberia was conducted peacefully and transparently, demonstrating Liberia's stable political environment. Statement made by President-elect Joseph Boakai confirming his support for the mining sector and his commitment to an open and transparent relationship with mining companies. Okay, this is reported in the U.S. press. I just put it in the chat room. So any process, any gift beyond $200 or $300 that any mining company gives to the government official, whether it's clean trip, whether it's, heavy machine, that is bribery. So we need to get together and start to expose these things on this side too, because one thing I know in America, I don't care how much money you get, if you break the law, whether you in government, you get connection or whatever, you will be some point brought to justice. So I hope that this was an excellent show. That's why our country has not developed, because we're all divided. We hate the other person, when we should really be looking for solutions. Lastly, Liberia should get elevated from the point where they're expecting a mining company to come develop and build roads. We're way beyond that point. Let the mining company, let Liberia, let Botswana sign a contract where they will pay the fair share for the mining concession or whatever iron ore they export. We will develop our own country. We can't, delegate building school, building road. A mining company can gives you $650 million and they walk away with $10 billion a year. You know what the price of 1 ton of iron ore? Then you say you lead the country. So I hope this, I like what Musa is doing. He's out there. He's in the press. We need to get newspapers. We need to get a cyber force. We need to work with them in Liberia and around the world. Pressure them here in America. Because I wouldn't make a phone call to that company now and ask them if there were any and read an article on it. So let's all work together. This is not about any individual or party. Yeah, again, Conglo, you did an excellent job. You and I talk all the time off the scene, and we all should come together. And Tomalin and Peabody and Lofa, let's keep this show going so that we can really deliver and help those who need help in the government and expose those who are continuing to steal from our people. Thank you very much.
Lofa.
Yeah. Actually, Pretty much everything has been said. Nothing here to just repeat. The reality is we are facing a group of people who purposely came to steal, and we cannot sugarcoat it. I know somebody sent me a couple, and that's why I was just responding to. Lofa, you have to understand that you're on a public platform. You have to fine tune your message. You can't be calling people or thieves. You can't call people thieves when they are thieves, and you're afraid to reference their behaviors. And you said somebody should fine tune their message. This is why people are dying at JFK because you have no medication, and a lot of your lawbreakers you refer to as lawmakers can afford to leave the country and seek medical attention somewhere else because you want to behave as though you are overly professional and civil. That's the reason why the market women have to sell almost an entire day, maybe 24 hours, and can barely take home $500. That's the reason why they cannot afford to send their kids to school. And the acquisition of quality education is almost impossible. That's part of the reason why a lot of your young people, they can barely compose an entire paragraph void of some kind of spelling or grammatical error. You know why? Because you hear a lot of your stealing lawbreakers and you think it's in your best interest. You want to fine tune your message. People are stabbing you in the back and you're talking about, Lofa, you got to fine tune your message. These lawmakers must be dealt with the way they deserve to be dealt with. They should feel how it is for our people to continue to go through what they're going through. Why should we have such a rich country, but then our people continue to die in abject poverty? Young people graduating from high school, no sense of direction, no job. The very people who actually came to rescue, in quotation, and now becoming a bunch of excuses. Guess what? Their youth wing. At the age of 30-something, a young man calling himself youth. 30 some more years old, you're calling yourself youth. You're complaining about the same group of thieves you brought to power because everybody wants government jobs to be awarded to people based on their close proximity to people in government, not based on competence. You think we can move Liberia forward in that way? Because you ran campaign, you yell moya moya, or you yell whatever, so you should be given job? That's not how it works. That's not how in the Western world people are considered to be progressive. To move Liberia forward, it should not be based on the idea that they have engraved in their minds that if you stay with one political party for the longest, then when they ascend to power, you should be given public office, especially when you don't have what it takes to perform in that position. Then they start to run around. Finally, I'll close on this note. The public work minister and the finance minister, those who are involved and it's alleged that they are stealing, I think those who are in power to prosecute those individuals, or hopefully some of them, should do due diligence, or else we will accuse every single one of you, regardless of the role you play or where you're at. You all will be disrespected and you will be called to public attention. Thank you, guys.
But Judah, I didn't want you to go before Tomalin comes on. I'll do my closing and Tomalin will close us. But I wanted you to show at least.
Did you send it?
That little girl. It's in our chat room that we will put it in today. But we want sometime next week. We want to see whether we can.
Okay, let Tomalin go so I can try to figure out how to get it in here.
Yeah, let's share some hope for this family sometime next week.
The thing is, we
all time for that video though. We'll do it tomorrow.
We are at the end. I think we should do it like on Friday.
Yeah, let me see.
So we'll do that. Yeah, Tomalin, do your closing.
Let me say quickly, guys.
Yeah, we'll do it next time. That's fine.
Yeah, let me say quickly, guys. Whenever we engage people, I always encourage all of us. Everyone, if you have somebody know you call it, you find out for them what's going on. So right now, we're talking about the Deputy Finance Minister for Administration, Bill McGee Jones. Now I have all the documents concerning the whole issue concerning the controller called Eric Akwe. I will share with you guys, and I will encourage you to peruse it. And based on it, we can make our own assessment, and then we can respond to it maybe during the next show, because there's always two sides to a story. But now, from what all I've received now, I think everyone will make their own judgment. You look at the documents, and then from there you can make your own judgment. So I think I will hold on right now, going after the Deputy Finance Minister right now until we can all look at these documents and make our own conclusion, logical conclusion from it. I will share with you guys, and then from there we can act on it.
So you think Trumpet Africa did not do their background
due diligence?
Well, I'm not now what I'm saying. I'm just saying the documents that we have, that the documents that I will share with the team, and then we can look at it. From there we can make our own. I'm not putting words in my mouth.
That's fair. Actually, that's a fair point.
But the problem we have with people, if we reach out to you and you refuse to come, if you come and respond, and you just ignore and just say, okay, y'all can do what they want to say, there's a problem. So based on these things, we found out. Now we have all these things in our possession. We'll put it out there, and then from there, I hope we'll look at it, and then we'll take our own decision on it. But besides that,
I know Front Page, one of the most leading newspapers in Liberia.
I will not put front page down. I will not put it down. But as I said again, we just have this. We see documents. What I want to show today, the document came forward, so we'll share, and we'll take it from there. But I just want to say happy birthday to my friend, the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Madam Imade PS. Today is her birthday. Imade, happy birthday from us here, and wish you the best. And guys, LG said they brought 80% of the people that came. They said about the Azogos,
drug addicts,
15 crazy people, 16 pregnant women, 115 parentless kids, 300 without families. Well, we got to find out all these things they're saying. Well, guys.
Yeah, but if it's so good, I did not like Liberians. Nonsense. That's nonsense.
That's
not respect for their own citizens, even if they are.
The project how you determine the poor. These poor are this, but again,
nonsense.
But guys,
I see you guys.
After they ate the people money for the construction.
Yeah. All right, guys. I hope we have a show on that whole thing. God bless, man. Yeah. Y'all have a good night, everybody. God bless.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Lofa.
Yeah.
So, no, but any guys in the studio can leave, and you and myself can stay talk.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. We are all,
actually, you know what? Let's just call me instead of us going through that. Just call me. Let's talk. Call me. Let's talk.
All right.